Today, we're diving into one of the biggest collapses that I've ever investigated. This story of Goliath Ventures, a company that promised investors the world, guaranteed returns, guaranteed principal, and they even bragged about fake audits and banking ties with Merrill Lynch. For months, people told me, I'm getting paid every month. It can't be a scam. But that's exactly how Ponzi schemes work. Everyone gets paid until the music stops. And now the music has stopped. Goliath Ventures has shut its doors. Investors are left in the dark. No payouts, no answers, no money. Part 1, I exposed their shady contracts. And part 2, I exposed the fake investor letters. And today, we have just had confirmation that this so-called empire has collapsed under its own lies. I want to be clear. This isn't about Chris Lord, I can't even say his last name, Delgado? I'm not going to get that right. Or his team of phantom executives. This is about protecting everyday investors, mums, dads, families, from losing everything to smooth talkers who hide behind glossy websites and luxury lifestyles. So today, we're not only exposing what happened, we're calling for accountability, transparency, and whistleblowers to step forward. Because this scam might be closing, but the damage isn't. The $100 million question. In 2024, Goliath Ventures claimed to have paid out $100 million in dividends to its partners. That's not pocket change, ladies and gentlemen. That's money on a scale that should come with audited financials, regulatory filings, and clear evidence of real investments. Instead, what we find are glossy pitch decks, compliance theatre, and shell companies, all orbiting around Christopher Lord Diego and his network. The more we dig, the more the story looks like a Ponzi textbook, a textbook Ponzi dressed up in corporate branding. I'm Danny DeHeck, and as I often say, I'm the crypto Ponzi scheme avenger. I'm actually an investigative journalist that's been featured in the New York Times that gave me the name, the crypto Ponzi scheme avenger. I quite liked it. I don't really have too much to do with crypto. However, crypto does enable a lot of people to use it to commit fraud because it's hard to track and hard to get your money back. I've also been featured recently in a 10-month investigation in a Bloomberg documentary exposing Sam Lee, Chavez, Anwar Sadinki, and a $1.9 billion scam that I started my apprenticeship on 5 years ago. And I always say at the beginning of my videos, I am Danny DeHeck, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. And I do the work that other people can't or won't. So I've been overwhelmed with whistleblowers. Whistleblowers have been providing me amazing intel. They don't want to be named. They just want me to throw myself in front of the bus. But this one, I didn't need to. This company has fallen on their own sword. Their own documentation that I have scrounged off around the internet and been given, their corporate documents are their sword, and they are falling on them. So last night, I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up this morning at 8:30 with a headache, which I was hoping to shake before I went live. But I really wanted to make sure that I had all my T's crossed and my I's dotted. And I wanted to make sure that I presented my information correctly and methodically. And that's what we're about to do. This is going to be a long form video. There will be a video I'm going to play because I need to do a voiceover on it. I have got the video and got all the words, gone through, highlighted all the red flags and put it into a blog, which you will find in the description of the video that you're watching right now. But I've also emailed Chris 4 or 5 days ago, just before he shut his company down. Yes, shut his company down, asking for a right of reply. And as I said in earlier videos, the sound was so deafening, we could hear it bouncing off the marble floor in his villa, in his rented villa. So I did write out to another guy, Matt Burks, which you're going to see in this video. And I got an email response earlier on, basically telling me that he will provide full details of my questions that I asked him later on in the day, which is probably in the evening now in America. However, they changed their mind. I also have given them a link to this very live, so he's welcome to come on stage at any time because I know he's watching. But this was the reply that I received back from Matt. And I've just declined to do a Zoom meeting with them.
Mr. D. Heck, I have worked with our team on a response to all of your questions and will provide written responses to your questions. First, I would like to do a Zoom or other online call with you anytime later this evening or over the weekend. I'd like the opportunity to provide you with what I would consider extremely relevant information before you proceed with this piece, as I believe you have been significantly misled with some of the information you were provided. Look forward to hearing from you.
The information that I have been provided is from their own video. The second blog that I did was actually from their own pitch decks, from their own email correspondence with the company. So there's nothing I've actually used that I've been provided that wasn't provided by themselves. I use, I think I'm saying it right, OSIN, open source intelligence. And it is breathtaking when a company says, I've got my facts wrong. So I just wanted to bring that up on another screen here. This is the first blog that we actually did. And we asked for a right of reply and we got crickets, or the sound was deafening, as I like to say. But in here, it really does go to town. There's a PDF here of the joint venture, and this is breathtaking. This is basically telling people that there's so many contradictions in their own agreement. I did have to reconstruct that document because I got given it in a very bad format, but it is actually word for word their document, not my words. The next blog we did was, this is Chris getting out of his jet. We tracked the plane. I even spoke to a pilot that flies these planes. This is how cool it was. We also have we've also done a new image of that car because he has a white Rolls Royce. It doesn't have those opening front doors, so he mustn't have got the fancy version of the Rolls Royce. Just saying, but I don't know much about Rolls Royces, but Chris does because he's been spending everyone's money. So today what we've got is, we've also got some other evidence here, and we'll get rid of all the elephants before we get stuck into the video. But just 9 hours ago, this is really amazing because I've gone through all their LinkedIn profiles on their website, and they don't link through to LinkedIn. Yes, all their executive team that you have, which hopefully we can just bring that up in a hurry. When you're on the East, we can. You go to their team website. This is a very poorly done website. These are all the bottom feeders. And all these LinkedIn profile links that you see at the bottom, only one of them actually goes through to their LinkedIn profiles, even though, and the website's got lots of flaws, but let's not get into that. We've done this in previous videos. However, so to my surprise, I did notice that they've actually posted a sort of a statement 9 hours ago, and now they're actually backing up the bus. I do have a bus. I think I do actually have a truck, which we might as well back up the truck while we've got that here. Let's find a truck. There it is. Here's my truck. So this is them backing up the truck. Just so you know, that's not their money. That's your money if you've invested. But here's what they've publicly stated.
Goliath Ventures Incorporated is a global blockchain-based joint venture private fund. We focus on creating opportunities for our partners through conservative capital allocation in liquidity pools. Goliath Ventures employs a growing team of technicians to ensure disciplined and consistent returns. Our joint venture provisioning in liquidity pools is the only way through which individuals partner with Goliath Ventures.
Now, I just want to have a look at they said something about their team in there. They said growing team of technicians. Is it technicians? I think it was. Technicians. Well, on their website, all I see is public relations, director of administration, director of operations, executive corporate assistant, business program manager, executive consultants, travel director. That means she's the PA, director of partner services, director of partner services, director of partner services, director of partner services. There doesn't seem to be anyone on their website who's technical. Just saying, just looking for contradictions here straight away.
CEO Chris Delgado remains true to his vision of the future in which blockchain technology has a positive impact on the world. He has instilled this vision in the Goliath Ventures team. As industry leaders, Goliath Ventures takes an active role in realizing this vision by supporting blockchain infrastructure projects from the ground up. Our comprehensive vetting system and careful examination of market dynamics ensures that we are investing in projects that are solving real problems in innovative ways.
I'm ignoring all my Avengers in the chat room because I'm very focused on this one. But I do love seeing all my supporters in here who have been here for months, which is just lovely. So thank you for the support. I do see you there. And I do see the chat rooms going. Danny's looking very serious tonight. This one.
Goliath Ventures is confident in Bitcoin as a long-term store of value. As the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has continuously become more valuable and withstood industry dips and innovations. Because of this, Goliath Ventures utilizes innovative and industry-leading Bitcoin mining technology. Our Bitcoin mining operations are internal to our firm. We do not offer partnerships in Bitcoin mining.
Wow. So that's the statement. We do not offer partnerships in crypto mining, which is a direct, I believe, my opinion, if you go to their website and you look at their accomplishments, our impact, what we do. Let's go to what we do. This is what they say they do. We could play the video, actually, couldn't we? Crypto mining. So they do blockchain technology, no proof of that. Liquidity pools, no proof of that, no wallet addresses, and we have asked for them. Let's have a read more. Exploring. Now, I just want to see if this video might destroy what I'm doing, but I've got to play. Hopefully, it hasn't got stupid music all the way through it. Let's have a look. Yes, it does. So this is now this is not real. This is stupid. This is all done with AI. So if this is meant to be their investment change, I don't know. But what the heck's this? This is their video on their website. This is meant to prove that they are doing something with crypto. Wow, look at that, eh? It must be the state of the art. But I don't think there's anything other than just... Yeah, so that's just fancy jargon music. Don't even believe that's real. We make mining. So these are the claims that this company has said, which is now closed down. So let's not get distracted by what we're staying focused on today, because we are doing a fourth blog, and this one will just screw the nails on the coffin shut. But we'll let you know when that's happening. So make sure you have subscribed to the channel, because we've got more to come, and whistleblowers are now blowing those whistles, which is quite exciting, wondering where their money is. So make sure you have subscribed. And as I always say to people, when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I like to give you a favor in return. So I get Sadie to come and clean your screen. She's lovely. Bet she would like to go on one of those jets, Lear jets, wouldn't you, Sadie? Anyway, let's not have a conversation with her just now. So where do we get to? So we've gone through and found now that they have come out and put a public statement 9 hours ago on their LinkedIn, which is unheard of. So that things are happening. We have brought up their joint venture, but I think this one here is the kicker. This one here is article of dissolution. Am I saying that right? And this, you can do a search and find this, but this is basically saying the company has been closed down. Don't worry, they will rebrand and they'll go back for a second round, because that's what all scams do. So if you are an investor and you're thinking, oh my God, I was invested with that money. I just mortgaged my mum's house and my cat and my dog, and I sold my Ferrari, which literally people have been doing to give this guy, Chris Diego, whatever his name is, money. So this is what it means when somebody shuts down a company that was doing investments that wasn't regulated. Let's have a listen.
Breaking update on Goliath Ventures. On September 3rd, 2025, Goliath Ventures Incorporated, filed official articles of dissolution with the Florida Secretary of State. In plain English, they have shut down the company. What does this mean? Goliath Ventures no longer exists as a legal business in Florida. Once dissolved, a company cannot sign new contracts, raise money, or operate as before. The only thing it can legally do now is wind up, close bank accounts, pay debts, if they choose to, and distribute any leftover assets. For investors, this is a massive red flag. Dissolution doesn't erase promises made, but it makes it much harder to recover funds. Regulators or courts may need to step in. This move follows the classic Ponzi playbook. Shut down the corporate shell before the walls close in, then either vanish or reappear under a new name somewhere else. The filing was signed by their registered agent, Harry M. Samuels. That doesn't absolve Delgado or his team, it simply proves that the company itself requested termination. Bottom line, if you or someone you know put money into Goliath Ventures, take this as a wake-up call. The company has legally dissolved in the US. It's a sign Delgado and his crew may be trying to cut and run, leaving investors behind. Whistleblowers wanted. If you have inside knowledge, documents, or experience with Goliath Ventures, I want to hear from you. You can contact me confidentially here.
Yeah, so reach out to me. That's my website address. Hey, we've got a heckler in the chat room, which is always a bit of a laugh. Someone who doesn't realise what it means when a company shuts down, obviously an investor, telling me that I'm upset that I didn't get to go on the aeroplane. You'll see the words behind the screen. So Susie will police him, and all my moderators will kick him out if he acts narcissistic. We don't mind people having a voice. And yes, I would have liked to go on an airplane, but I'm not going to pay somebody $300. And this is what literally has happened. I've heard somebody did actually pay $350,000 who went for a joyride on his airplane that was rented or leased. And it cost $180,000 to go to Mykonos in the plane. He paid everyone's bills, but then somebody invested $350,000 while they were on that trip. I think that money went to pay for the jet. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of upset people who just want to believe, because that's what happens with these cults. And we love the hecklers. They are really, really, really cool. It's good to have a people. But this is my website and this is my contact form. If you fill out this information, use anonymous@gmail.com. If you don't want your name anywhere, that's fine. Also, I really do respect keeping things anonymous. The video that you're about to see, though, just basically screws another nail. Well, I say you can't screw nails, but then if you ever hammered a screw into a piece of wood, it's quite good sometimes. It's quite exhilarating. But there's a form for you to reach out to me. And also, I don't hide behind fake names on YouTube like our heckler in the room. My name is Danny the Heck, and you can go to danny.co.nz if you're in New Zealand, or you can go to theheck.com, and you can find all my phone numbers and my contact details, my WhatsApp, my LinkedIn. I don't hide. I'm not a faceless coward. However, if you want to come on stage and talk, you're also more than welcome. I'm saying that directly to our heckler because we love hecklers and they normally are too scared to. So I'll challenge you, but you'll see that my website is actually backed by Google Project Shield, which means they protect my website from people who try to take down my content because they provide a service to journalists who have a message that needs to be told. So that's what I do for a living. I've been doing this for over 5 years, and it's pretty cool, some of the intel that I get. All right, so what else do we do? So we've read out the email, the right reply from Matt Burks. We've wrote to Matt Burks and invited him to come on the show today. We've given him a link where he can come on now, so there's no excuses. He's declined to give us a written reply, and he wants to get together and talk to me over Zoom. I'm not scared about talking over Zoom, but I'd rather a written reply because I don't think the New York Times, when they ask people for a right reply, do Zoom meetings. I think they would rather statements, especially from a company that's just been shut down, which is pretty amazing. Alrighty, so what we want to do, we're going to read the blog. The blog today is a bit of a funny one. I did ask ChatGPT to create me an image. I did actually originally ask for them to create me an image of circus performers juggling, because it sounds like this is just a juggling act. But this one here will actually condemn them quite nicely. So I'll prepare this so you can read it nicely. I don't think our heckler's really got anything good to do. We might as well just silence him because he's quite... I might just put him in the... well, look, mate, I don't mind you having... Where's the proof? We've got more proof that you're going to shake a stick at, mate. So you're quite distracting on the screen there. So we're going to put you in timeout. We'll give you 30 minutes. and then you can listen, but you won't be able to say anything. So I don't normally ban people, but it's a bit distracting. And I need to focus on this one because I've got a lot to say today. This is going to be a long form video, as I've already stated, and there's a reason for that. I want to document things. That's important in my world. So I'll start reading this paragraph with the computer wall. Let's go.
Goliath Ventures has already been exposed for glossy promises, shaky contracts, and newsletters that read more like motivational fluff than financial reporting.
Yep, it does. It's just motivational fluff. And I tell you what, I was talking to a very high up person in the crime busting field, and I said, I actually can't stand watching these videos of these guys showing off jets, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, because what has that got to do with a business investment? Is it because I'm successful or I'm using your money to buy these toys or rent them or lease them, whatever you do these days? It disgusts me. And that's not what I would want to see from a company.
But February's leaked training video takes things to another level. What we see is not transparency, but performance. A carefully staged production designed to make a Ponzi scheme look like a professional fund.
Yeah, so just to show you what we've got coming up, this is their literal training video for their own company. And this here has got people in the audience who are actually working for the company. And this video that you'll see here actually fully exposes how the whole company works. This video has been viewed by 39 people. It was on a Vimeo hidden, and one of my Avengers actually found it. And then here, the company is fully transparent. So that's the evidence that we've got. And they make statements in here how they're not regulated. They also make statements about how to avoid elderly abuse, would you believe? So it's a Deming video. This one here will expose this company for who they are and what they actually have been doing. And it's breathtaking. And that's why I'm making sure I get everything out to you guys who may have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in this company, hoping it was genuine, and woke up this morning and realized that the company's been closed down.
At the center of it all is Christopher Delgado, supported by BlackBlock and its CEO, Matt Burks, a man simultaneously running an independent audit firm and a wealth management company actively selling Goliath contracts. This is not oversight, it's conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. Yeah, it's a conflict of interest. So did you hear what that just said? I'm just having a wee look here and seeing whether I can bring up this company here. Good. So this is the company that we're talking about that's been shut down. And it's now inactive. So isn't that incredible? So just literally on the 3rd, it was on the 3rd of September. It's been closed down. I just don't want to bring up all that. I'll have a look at that off screen just in case there's something else there. All right, so let's go on to the, I'll just have a wee look at something to see what I'll make sure. Wow, that's good stuff. Look at this. So we'll go back to where we were before we had to take it off screen, just in case I don't want to put people's phone numbers on the screen. Anyway, so let's have a look. This is the good stuff. Christopher, how do we say his name, Danny? Is it Delgado? Delgado? Let's call him Dildo. Dilgogo. I don't know. Delgado. Not bad. Got it right. So here's filed for the last 3 years. Here's their annual reports, and then they've closed the company down. Oh, look, I can't actually. I'm thinking, did I have something to do with this? I believe I did. I'll be honest. And there's the very document that we're talking about here. Now, how would you feel if you were an investor? Would you be still going around saying you don't know what you're talking about, like a heckler that we've now silenced? Would you actually be saying you don't know what you're talking about? You've got no proof. And then I show you the company certificate where the company's been shut down and you've just realized that you're not going to get your money that they promised. Isn't that just, it's in black and white. That's right. Well said, Velvet.
At the center of it all is Christopher Delgado, supported by BlackBlock and its CEO, Matt Burks, a man simultaneously running an independent audit firm and a wealth management company actively selling Goliath contracts. This is not oversight, it's conflict of interest.
Yeah, no, sorry, repeated that paragraph. We'll get into it.
Part 3 of our investigation breaks down the February training session, the compliance theater it revealed, and why Goliath Ventures' entire model is built on smoke, mirrors, and carefully scripted deception.
Yeah, so the next segment here, we've got this on the website. So if you want to go to the website, my website, theheck.com, go to my latest blog, which is about 4 down, you'll see this pitch deck. And this pitch deck, I believe, was the one or similar one that they used on the day. Lots of fine print, lots of good stuff for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to get rid of some of this stuff so it doesn't confuse me. There I am, don't want to be confused. So the training video, this is the best. So the February training video, Smoke and Mirrors. This is how they were telling people they were propping up the company that wasn't legal. It's actually breathtaking.
In February 2025, Christopher Delgado and his associates at BlackBlock hosted a private training session for Goliath Ventures partners. The footage was never meant for the public, but it provides a window into how this operation sells itself, and how the people behind it know exactly where the legal tripwires are.
It's incredible what you can find with awesome research.
Rather than showing proof of investments, on-chain activity, or verifiable financial statements, the entire session revolves around.
Yeah, so it was compliance theatre, rehearsal scripts on what to say and what not to say, always wrapped with disclaimers. Brand marketing, glossy pitch decks, which I didn't think was that great, consistent messaging, and even jokes about the spelling errors in their slides. This is what we'll hear. Insurance smoke and screen. Insurance smoke screens. Vague references to. I have to get this read. I'm dyslexic in case you don't know.
Fidelity bonds and cyber insurance used as sales closes, even while admitting none of it covers market losses.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm not, first of all, I'm not a crypto genius. Second of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a YouTuber, qualified painter and a decorator. And I was watching this video and thought, what sort of person would actually invest in this one? Can you imagine somebody coming along in their Learjet, picking you up in their Rolls Royce and taking you to a flight to Mykonos, and then you're so overwhelmed with the excitement of it all, you give them all your money. You basically paid for the flight, and it's just ridiculous. So you don't need to be qualified to use logic or common sense. And it's probably more surprising that someone like Chris has done whatever he's done with your money and still hasn't given you any receipts to what happened. As per my thumbnail says, we want the receipts. Look, I've asked for a right of reply. I haven't got one. I've even got a theoretical right of reply from Matt Burks. And he's now wants to turn into a conversation over Zoom. Never, ever get into a conversation over Zoom with the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger. Just saying.
Redefining reality, instructing partners to avoid calling Goliath an investment and instead parrot the phrase joint venture private fund.
Yeah. Instructing partners to avoiding Goliath as calling Goliath an investment. Private fund. I mean, terminology is not going to save you guys. This blog that we've got actually shows you the law. We've actually got the statements off the official websites, which I did at 3 o'clock last night, and then at 4 o'clock I was still doing it, and at 5 o'clock.
This is classic Ponzi playbook language. When you can't prove the money exists, you build a script to control what promoters say, how they say it, and what terms they use.
I still can't get over the fact that the heckler is coming into our chat room, he's been banned, saying he wants evidence.
Key red flags from the video admitting regulatory evasion. BlackBlock openly told the room, "We need to not wait for regulation, but assume it's coming and set up systems in advanced translation." They know they are operating in a grey zone and are trying to look legitimate before regulators arrive.
We need not wait for regulation, but assume it's coming and set up systems in advance. I don't even know how to answer that. And then this is the mic drop. There's 3 companies involved. We've got BlackBlock, Wealth. What do they call it? Doctors, Wealth. But it's called Wealth MD, but the last word's doctor. But there's another word in there which I can't remember. They call themselves Wealth Doctors, which have been going since 2019. But you're going to see some shocking stuff, I promise you.
Conflict of interest. BlackBlock and Wealth MD. BlackBlock claims to be Goliath's independent auditor, but their own CEO, Matt Burks, is also a founding partner at Wealth MD, a company actively selling Goliath contracts. In other words, the so-called auditors are also promoters taking a cut of investor funds. That is not independence. It is double dipping.
I was trying to figure out a way of explaining this to people. That this video we're about to watch literally is him showing people how to white label sell Christopher's Goliath Ventures product. So it's kind of like, instead of it, it's just repackaging somebody else's scam. I'm calling it a scam. Somebody else's investment opportunity, and putting your own markup on top of it, rebranding it, and then telling other people how to go about doing the same. And the heart company is the one that's making all the money, but you can put minimum investment was $100,000 in Christopher's company. In other companies are suggesting that you put $250,000 minimum investment on your company name, and you offer them 2% interest per month instead of the 3%, and scoop you a bit off the top. It's just, it's just, and and Matt Burks is a parish, and he emailed me, which I didn't, when I showed you the email, I didn't show you, but he actually emailed me from his church's email address. This gets better.
Insurance as a sales pitch slide decks heavily featured the words insured and bonded. BlackBlock presenters admitted this was the deal closer, the slide used to convince prospects. Yet later, they quietly explained that market losses aren't covered, and percentages of coverage can't be disclosed.
Sorry, this is funny. I mean, I'm sorry if you've lost money, but at some point, people need to have a sense of social responsibility with their investment opportunities. And as my dear mother would say, if it sounds too good to be true, it normally is. Did you really think there's an opportunity out there where you can give some rich guy who flies around in jet and drives Ferraris and Rolls Royces and pays for everyone's holidays at these flash resorts? Do you really think you could just give him your money and he's going to use your money to give you back 2, 3, 4% per interest, and there's going to be no proof of how he's generating that income? I always say, Bernie Madoff with a whole lot of money. What's this guy's last name? Diego. Where did my money go? I don't know if you can say that properly, but we'll give it a go.
Changing the rules on investors in the same session, Goliath announced a new minimum investment of $100,000, a requirement that all investors be accredited, with only 90 days for existing smaller investors to top up or leave. This is not investor protection, it's a squeeze play to extract more money quickly, while insulating the scheme from regulatory exposure.
Now, you might not have a chance to stay around for the video, but trust me, if you want the evidence, which this guy in the chat room who's now been silenced, it's in the video. And that's why we've got the video afterwards. But these people in the audience were saying that they told people that Goliath Ventures was a great investment opportunity, and they might have only put $50,000 in. And now those same guys have got to go back to their friends and tell them that they've got to top up their investment to the minimum threshold of 100,000 or they're out. And they were complaining at one point in the video that, they would be a bit red-faced because they told how good Chris's investment was, but they said, and that, there's all sorts of other claims coming out, but we'll just carry on.
Evidence of an MLM structure despite denials. The video makes clear that directors are building books of investors, earning overrides, and being coached on how to recruit. The need to set up LLCs for each recruiter was presented as a legal shield, not a genuine business necessity.
Now, if you do a search for Goliath Ventures Inc. Awards, you'll see that a lot of their investors have been given these flash plaques. And I think if you get to a certain level of sales, you're going to get a backhander, so to speak. And I'm not sure of the figures. I don't know, so I'm not going to assume. However, when I saw the plaque, I remember a company called IM Academy, and there was a guy called Des Amy, and he held up a plaque because he got to a certain level in that company. And it looks like, copycat, techniques for marketing and offering incentives and the like. So when multi-level structure, it's a hard one to actually say. It's like a pyramid. You get 20%, the next person gets 10%, and so forth down to 15 levels. I haven't seen that. But when it comes to rewarding their directors for the amount of money they brought in, it's basically a massive backhander. And obviously you get a plaque. So if you search Instagram for, these plaques, you'll see that they're all in a nice box and they've got it all presented like, just flash stuff. Right, accountability. You want your money back? Let's see what we can do for you.
Reaching out for accountability to ensure fairness, I contacted Matt Burks, CEO of BlackBlock and co-founder of Wealth MD, for a right of reply. In my message, I asked him directly, why does BlackBlock call itself an independent auditor while simultaneously selling investments into Goliath? How does he justify promoting Goliath's guaranteed returns when no evidence of real investments exists? Does he truly believe Goliath Ventures is not a Ponzi scheme?
So he's a parish at this church. Jesus changes everything. Now, I've reached out to the church, and the reason I do that is because time and time again, I see that these people go after the communities and the people that believe in the God above and they believe in paradise earth or whatever they believe is going to happen, they get preached a very similar message. So I went down here and I looked around for people and I found a visit our place, take your next step, calendar, staff and leaders. And there we are, meet our pastors and staff. We're here to serve you. Our dedicated team of pastors and church staff are here to provide spiritual guidance and support as well as resources to help your faith in your journey. I don't know if I read that as good as Queen of Karma, but I'm getting better. And Matt Burks, well, here he is, and there's other people here. Now, I'm not saying these people are involved in any which way or form, but from my experience, here it is. This is one of that. Meet the elders. So he's an elder, and here I think it was a parish. But often these guys are there. So there you are, Matt. Now, Matt, I've given you the opportunity to come onto this live, and I know that you're watching. So there's a button in the chat room that says something about join the room. Come in here now because I think you will be pretty red-faced, which is quite important to know. So let's get rid of Matt, but I just wanted to show you that. So as I said, and I think I'll read that again because I don't think I said it all.
I also carbon copied Redemption Church, where Burks is listed as an executive pastor. If a church leader is simultaneously profiting from questionable financial schemes, the community deserves to know. As of publication, the silence has been deafening.
Well, yes. Well, I did get a reply from Matt since, but remember I put this together pretty quick, and Matt did say that he was going to give me an extensive reply by the end of the day, which is now. I would have had that if he was going to do that, but rather than doing that, he's decided to suggest, he's talked to other people, and he suggested that we get together on a Zoom meeting to clear up some of the facts that I've received, that I've been given from their own correspondence, their own website, their own documents. Everything I've been saying, none of it has come from a malicious person that's lost money. It has all come from open source intelligence. It's their own documents. We have all their what I am going to do is I will actually open another window in another browser. What I'll do, I'll just do this in a second. I'll put this over here, and I want to show you what we have received, but I don't want to incriminate anybody. Get myself in trouble. If we go to my program where I keep my database. Now I've got a database of over 500 people. And what are we going to do? We're going to go to PDFs. Right, we can go back now. Right, so here we go. We can go back. There we go. Got the right one. So, excuse me. So these PDFs that you're looking at here are all their newsletters sent to their internal investors. So this is not my words. This is proof that I have all their documents. So anything that I've quoted has come from their own documents. So I'm not making it up. I don't need to make it up. This is brilliant. Awesome investigation. I tell you what, you can't get any better than this. Yeah, so that's what we've done. And I think we need to go back. So selling the legitimacy, not the investment. Hopefully I haven't read that to you already. I've got a bit of a headache today and I didn't quite get enough sleep. So if I make muck-ups, you'll know why.
Selling legitimacy, not investments. The entire strategy is about image, not substance. PowerPoints, branded decks, compliance disclaimers, and constant references to insurance or accreditation. Real companies don't need to hide behind scripts. They publish contracts, audited statements, and verifiable records. Goliath publishes pitch decks and photo ops.
Look, if you're in a business meeting and you don't know the answer to something, you normally say to people, I'll find out for you and I'll get back to you. This video that we're going to watch, it was him telling people what to say and what not to say. And also in one point there, Christopher tells people that they must get people to sign an NDA. And if they don't sign the NDA and the person has problems, he's going to go after them and after his salesman. And he said to the salesman, and I will use every last cent that I have to come after you. And I have a lot of money. Oh, God. He has a lot of your money. Oh, my goodness. It's saddening. Detrimental. Let's carry on.
The compliance illusion. Partners were told exactly how to speak, what words to use, and which ones to avoid. They were coached to say joint venture private fund instead of investment fund. Calling yourself a joint venture private fund doesn't save you from the SEC. If it looks like a security, sells like a security, and pays like a security, it's a security. This is not compliance. It's compliance theater designed to create the appearance of legality while avoiding the substance of regulation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think if you've invested in this company, go to the police and report a crime, because these people have taken your money and they're not authorized to do so. They're not regulated. They don't have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. They're actually what I call bottom feeders, just saying.
Classic Ponzi red flags: guaranteed returns, 3-4% monthly, capital guarantees in writing, followed by escape clauses that void those guarantees, recruitment overrides disguised as service fees, a push to roll retirement accounts into the scheme, no evidence of real trading, mining, or investments, only marketing. Every one of these is a Ponzi hallmark.
Yeah. When you've investigated a couple of hundred Ponzi schemes and scams, that's the ones I've gone after and produced videos on. I've got 2,200 videos on my YouTube channel. And I just look at this stuff and you sort of just see it every day. And then you get that person that's invested in it who reaches out to me going, I thought this, I thought that, and they said this. I go, did they say that? I go, oh, sorry, I don't mean to be laughing. But it's just the same old Ponzi scheme stuff. Fake it till you make it. It must be like, I don't know how it worked with Christopher, but he must have got his first big investor in, and then he thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get other investors and I'll pay them with that money and keep them happy. And then all of a sudden it all starts coming in like millions of dollars. Now, one of my scammers that I've gone after, Jason Michaels, he's now in jail, $1.6 billion. He's a Nigerian. He got some of that money from Americans, but majority of it, he got that out of Nigerian. All these Nigerians, I put a video on one day, 11,000, what did I have? 11,000, I had 11,000 views in 24 hours. And everyone was saying, you don't know what you're talking about, until I published a video of him being locked up.
SEC and securities law issues and registered fund investment contract. Goliath structure meets the Howey test. Pooled money, expectation of profit, derived from the efforts of others, that requires SEC registration or a valid exemption. Accredited investor rules, requiring investors to self-attest accreditation without verification violates Reg D standards. Allowing lies on attestations shifts liability back to the issuer.
Right. So basically, this is straight out of the what the security law issues. This is the facts. This is what you're not and can. I've said that around the wrong way. What you can and cannot do. Is that right? What you can, what you can't. I give up. Let's carry on.
Insurance misrepresentation. Marketing insured and bonded as a sales inducement, while admitting it doesn't cover market losses, is fraudulent misrepresentation. Dividends without disclosure. Claiming to have paid out over $100 million in dividends with no audited financials or SEC compliant disclosures is misleading at best, fraudulent at worst.
Yeah. So not my words, but let's carry on. We'll get through this blog first and then we'll play the video. Just wanted to have my 2 cents worth first.
Crypto DeFi compliance risks and registered money transmission. The training openly admits, if you touch funds, you become a money transmission service that alone reveals illegal handling of funds. Liquidity pool promises. Telling investors this is where your money makes money inside Uniswap pools is the textbook definition of a securities contract.
Yeah. So you listen to these words? I mean, I don't want to be I get called all sorts of names because people go, you shoot the messenger.
Qualified accounts ERISA rolling 401k and pensions into Goliath without ERISA safeguards is a massive compliance breach.
Whoops.
AML and Kike theatre presenters joked about politically exposed persons and terrorist cousins. They even described onboarding pro athletes with duffel bags of cash, only advising put it in the bank first. That is not compliance. It is complicity.
Yeah. Now, one of the people I'm talking to actually was associated to a sports player, and they didn't invest. They got told by friends not to invest. Yeah, which is great. I love it when I hear those stories. I get these people go, I don't want my name mentioned, but look, we were looking at it and we just saw so many red flags, and they tell you stuff like this. And people ask what's my why do I do this, and the low hanging fruit people go, oh, you're doing it for YouTube clicks. Well, I don't know if you've been keeping up current events, pal, but my videos don't get a hell of a lot of traffic, but they do get in front of people. My website, on the other hand, is where the traffic lies, and I have a lot of content on there which is archived, used for evidence. So when you saw my database here before, if you go into Ponzi schemes and scams, my database is actually accessed by 6 different government agencies. So one of those agencies is actually the state of California. They have full access to my database. So they can come in here and they can click on Global Ventures. They can see the screenshots. They can find the founders. So these are the people that I've listed here who are part of this company. And then I go to Ponzi schemes and scams. So then I started investigating BlackBlock. I've got to watch how you say that. And then we found the founders of those companies. So we've found numerous other people like Matthew here, Aaron, and Matt seems to have his fingers in all the pies. That's why I was going to do a juggling act. And then also we did a bit of an investigation on wealth. What do they call it? Wealth? I can't. Doctors, management doctors. Oh, that's what they're called. So this company here, and these websites that you're looking at are pretty much the same as each other. Like they've all been designed by the same company. There's nothing spectacular here. But what I didn't like when we were going through the video, they said how to handle people accusing them of elderly abuse. And then I went to this website, which theoretically, if we go to the About section, and this is where it gets really terrible, but here's Matthew Burks and another guy, which I don't know anything about. And then I'm looking around the website and I'm thinking, wonder why they're actually talking about elderly people. And then I saw it. This lady here. This is hard to watch. What have we got here? Let's give us some volume, eh?
Stuff getting ready to go.
Okay, let's go to start.
Several years before my husband passed away, I did all of the income tax stuff getting ready to go to the accountant. I wasn't good enough to do the original filing and everything, but I am not a stock person and I know nothing about it. Some of the accounts for me and for lists too. So we had, at least 2 accounts each with this man. And then when COVID came along.
So this is a testimonial from this company called Wealth. I can't even read it. It's too small. Management Doctors. And then I noticed there was another guy in here. Now, I don't know. I was doing this late last night, but this video here.
John stopped by the pharmacy a couple of times, introduced himself, dropped off some information, some literature.
So what got me about this, it must be staged to a certain degree because the background was the same as the other ladies. So these people have come in and given a testimonial, or maybe that's the lady's new partner. I don't know. And they just happen to be in the same house. But I haven't listened to all this one, so I won't bore you with that.
And usually every time I came in,
it's got background music in it, which I don't like music because copyright stuff is a pain in the ass.
Okay, yeah. No, I would definitely recommend them, John in particular.
So I recommend John in particular. We don't know John. But yeah, so when we go through it, you'll see. So that's what's happened. So we've started a bit of investigation. So as I said earlier on, please, if you've got any information, please do go to our Contact Us button on our website. And also in here, you'll see there's a form where you can provide us information. We'll keep it anonymous. That's what we do. And then we'll gather information, build a database, which we have. To give you an idea of how big our database is, we're currently investigating over 500 people. That's the wrong one, Danny. I meant to be in persons of interest. Now, in here, we've got people from all over the world, different countries, but in America, we now have quite an extensive database of Americans. Every single one of these profiles are people which I have seen pushing and promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam, and it's breathtaking. So we've added Chris, obviously, in here now, John, Aaron, Alec, Matthew, Nick, and Matt. These are all people. We've even got like federal judges in here, like this lady here called, she's one of our favorites, Grace Zumba. She's been promoting We Are All Satoshi. It's been flagged by the state of California as a Ponzi scheme and scam, and she's been running Zoom meetings back to back, promoting it, and she's been on Eyewitness News and publicly, what are they called when they publicly reprimanded, which is quite amazing. So we're getting some good intel in here. But anyway, let's get back to it. So IRS accounting issues. I don't know if I did that, but I've lost thoughts, so I have to do it.
1099 chaos. Goliath says it will issue 1099 forms for crypto payouts, while Coinbase may also issue them. Investors risk duplicate reporting and tax confusion.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Disguise commissions. Forcing recruiters into LLCs and paying them through managed service agreements is an attempt to hide unlicensed broker activity.
Yeah, and then in the email, you can in the video that we're about to watch when we get there, it's so condemning because he's saying you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do it. It's like they're trying to find a loophole. And at one point, they talk about how they've tried everything they can. Trust us, you can not think of what we've tried, and we have to do it this way. And it's like so funny, and it's just a normal company wouldn't do it like this. They would be regulated. The smoke screens that they're putting up, it's just breathtaking. Oh, here we go.
Improper dividend language. Talking about dividends without shareholder records, SEC filings, or audited accounts is misleading accounting treatment.
Yeah. It's all misleading stuff. Now, this is the part we just briefly touch on, but we do have a whole section on elderly abuse.
Other compliance and governance risks. Elder abuse concerns. Discussing senior seminars while acknowledging elder abuse laws is a regulatory red flag.
It's like I'm going to buy myself a Ferrari and I'm actually going to study the police law so I can speed around. Like if I've got somebody in the car that's bleeding to death and I'm speeding to a hospital, well, that means I'm allowed to speed. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like...
International sales. Admitting the JV is not recognized in Canada, but still onboarding Canadians is outright illegal.
It's comical. I don't even know how these people get to this place in life where people just don't research and they just hand over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Talking about money, if you want to support me in any which way or form, you'll see there is a support me link on my website. I would appreciate any donations. My very first blog was actually a sponsored review, but somebody paid me to do it because they wanted to do it out of public awareness. So if you are involved in any other investment opportunities, you want me to do a review, I will highlight the red flags. I will never give you a green light to invest. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will go through with my Avengers who've spent a lot of time like I do investigating these people. We've gone through their crypto wallet addresses where they ask people to put money in. We've found quite a few dead ends. So I don't know where your money's gone, kids, but I don't think it's gone. Well, I think I know where it might be in the air. It might be on a cruise ship. It might be... Yeah, some lady of the nights might have received some of it. All sorts of stuff going down there.
Ponzi bookkeeping. Requiring directors to keep spreadsheets of payouts instead of using audited systems is not wealth management. It's Ponzi bookkeeping.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is the thing. So don't load it up onto the internet and keep your bookkeeping. Put it on Excel for spreadsheets and keep track of it that way. How cumbersome would that be? But that's the advice they were giving.
When
people.
Directors are told to keep payout spreadsheets instead of audited ledgers, that's not wealth management. That's Ponzi bookkeeping.
Oh, thank you, Susie. Keep them coming through, these links.
The human cost. Behind the branding and compliance theatre are real people, retirees, families, and everyday investors being sold a dream of guaranteed 4% monthly returns.
Right, so what have we got here? Texas resident pleads guilty to crypto scheme. 45-year-old, this is only short, so Susie has just given me this. Susie's one of our best investigators. Sorry, Crypto G, you're not bad, but Susie trumps you.
Texas resident pleads guilty in crypto Ponzi scheme published by U.S. Attorney's Office. Published date the 4th of August 2025. Subtitle. Body. Houston. A 45-year-old Houston man has admitted to running a fraudulent investment scheme, announced U.S. Attorney Nicholas J. Ganji. From July through November 2017, Samuel Ayala Ribera operated JustBitM, a Houston-based company that falsely promised high returns through cryptocurrency investments. Ayala Ribera told clients their money would be invested in cryptocurrency, but he instead used the funds for personal gain and to repay earlier investors. He also paid others to recruit new clients. Once clients invested, JustBitM created fake documents to show fabricated growth and returns. Ayala Ribera used these false reports to persuade clients to reinvest. The scheme resulted in numerous victims who never received their original investments or promised returns. Senior U.S. District Judge Kenneth M. Hoyt will impose sentencing November 3rd. At that time, Ayala Ribera faces up to 20 years in federal prison as well as a possible $250,000 maximum fine for each of 3 counts of wire fraud. He has been and will remain in custody pending sentencing. The Secret Service conducted the investigation. Assistant U.S. Attorney, Orsa, Rodolfo Ramirez, is prosecuting the case. Orsa Christine Rollinson is handling seizure and forfeiture matters.
Now, that's not Christopher, that's somebody else, but 20 years in prison? Wonder what's going to happen to Christopher. Is that what I'm reading that for? What's the human cost? Well, I don't mean to be laughing, but we only started doing this 4 days ago, going after this guy. And since then, his company has been liquidated. Well, not liquidated. He's closed the company down, hoping that that's going to save him. But, you know, like I've already had people, especially on my LinkedIn account, somebody there said, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been invested for a year. I get withdrawals all the time. And at one point I had to take out a lump sum and they let me. I love that one. Anyway, and now I wonder what that guy's going to say. We won't hear him. We'll not hear from him. He's probably the grumpy guy in the chat room. But, you know.
The human cost. Behind the branding and compliance theatre are real people, retirees, families, and everyday investors being sold a dream of guaranteed 4% monthly returns. Some will walk away early with small gains. Most will lose their savings when the withdrawals stall, the excuses pile up, and the house of cards collapses.
Yeah, and our very first video was actually a house of cards. Now, why is that relevant to me? What I like to say about that, people tell me they get their money out of it every month, but they don't talk about their principal. So they put $100,000 in it. One lady, dear lady called Tracy, my Avengers will know who I'm talking about. She actually had lost $190,000. I now found out. $190,000. She's asked King Gamble to see if he could help recover her money, which King Gamble's, you know, he will tell her what happened to her money, but never promise that he can get her money back, because these guys don't have a pile of cash ready to give it back to you. They'll spend it on Learjets and fancy stuff. But my point is, well, what was my point? I think I've lost my point after that. I'm going to think of it halfway through. Oh, yes, the principle that people put into these platforms. They never talk about it. So I put $100,000 down. Tracy, that's it. So she put, she claimed to have put $122,000 into a Forex trading platform. And they paid her $5,500 the first month back, $7,500 the next, $11,000 the next. And she was all good to go. Then all of a sudden it all fell over. And then they come back to her and said, oh, Donald Trump got elected and that caused all our shares to crash to zero and we've lost all our money. And that was high-risk investment. She goes, what? So what they really did is gave her $30,000 of her $100,000 back to see whether she would recommend it to other people as well. That's how Ponzi schemes work. So these guys, you know, I don't have the company's financials in front of me. I don't have anyone that's actually said, I put this amount of money in, I got this amount of money out. I do know right now there will be a lot of people going, oh my goodness, I've just lost my principal. So that's all about your principal, but no one talks about the principal. They talk about the drip feeding of their own money they get paid back.
Elder abuse concerns. One of the most disturbing moments in the February training comes when BlackBlock's presenters field a question about recruiting seniors. Instead of shutting it down, they openly discuss whether partners could run seminars aimed at elderly investors. They acknowledge that elder abuse laws exist, but rather than treating them as a hard line, they frame them as hurdles to navigate.
Yeah. So I actually used ChatGPT to help me tidy up this blog as much as I could. And after it finished, it didn't actually have a paragraph about elder abuse. So I went back and said, this is a major part, because part of their sales pitch was telling people how to go after these people. So in New Zealand, we have our superannuation funds, and you have companies who manage those portfolios. So what they were proposing what they were telling people is they're trying to become a managed fund provider, but they weren't. But that's what they were telling people they are trying to become, and then they were telling people that they're going to, get the elderly to switch their investment from their current invested provider to the new one. But in the meantime, we're not regulated to do that. But if we are, we'll be ready to go. But you've got to be careful because you might get done for elderly abuse, and this is how you handle it. That's the kind of stuff.
This is chilling. Regulators have long flagged senior seminars as a breeding ground for fraud, especially when retirement accounts are being solicited. The fact that Goliath and BlackBlock are training promoters on how to approach and potentially exploit older investors underscores just how predatory this operation is. Elderly investors are uniquely vulnerable. They control retirement nest eggs, often lack deep financial literacy in crypto, and are less able to recover from losses. A legitimate firm would ban these tactics outright. Goliath's willingness to discuss them shows a complete disregard for the people most likely to lose everything.
I just hate it. A couple I was speaking to were about to put $750,000 into this investment. So we've had quite a lot of whistleblowers come forth. A lot of people have already put that money in, but when I hear that they stopped, it's really quite cool.
Why Matt Burks matters. Matt Burks is not just a background figure. He appears in multiple roles: CEO of BlackBlock, the so-called independent auditor, founding partner of Wealth MD, a firm selling Goliath contracts, head of compliance at Goliath Ventures, executive pastor at Redemption Church. Burks is simultaneously auditor, promoter, compliance officer, and church leader, a web of roles that are fundamentally incompatible.
So he's like the jack of all trades. He's like the, I don't know what you call the maintenance man. He's just everything, and he's in it thick. Now, Matt, why don't you help us with our investigation? You can't be a parish in a church and not be some sort of decent fella. And this isn't about you personally, or is it? I mean, do you really think this wasn't a Ponzi scheme or a scam? How do you feel when you found out that the company's been shut down? And here you are sending me an email saying that some of the information I've been provided is incorrect. Well, you didn't name the information that I theoretically got provided that was incorrect. You just alleged that. And also all the information in this blog and on my last 3 blogs has all been provided by your own company documents. I don't make this shit up. I don't need to. When I first started looking into this opportunity, it was as clear as their own sword. They would fall and die by their own sword. Their own sword is their own documents, their own website, their own open source intelligence is what I use, and this is where it's all come from. I never make shit up. I might, push it to the limit. I don't make shit up. I don't need to make shit up. It's so easy these days. They never give proof of mining. They never give proof of the investments. And I have seen some other shady deals where there was a building that they paid far too much for over market value. And then the money was scooped off and given to a charity of some sort. Things I haven't really researched enough to tell you about. But there's lots more documents than I actually have been using to create these blogs. But blog number 4 is going to finish off this company. It's going to screw the last nails in the coffin. We're going to expose a lot more than these few individuals. A lot more people than Matt have been involved, obviously. I'm using Matt because he's the public figure. But there's lots of people. Lots of information to come. Lots of whistleblowers have come forward. Lots of people have been pitched this. And they haven't even crossed their T's or dotted their I's. They're not even a regulated financial advisor company, whatever it is called these days.
The takeaway: the February training session reveals a machine built not to manage wealth, but to manage perception. Investors are told what words to use. Recruiters are told how to skirt licensing. Insurance slides are weaponized as closing tools. Spreadsheets are substituted for audited financials. This is not how legitimate finance works. It is how Ponzi operations stay alive just long enough to extract millions more before the collapse.
Right. So the conclusion, we did a full extensive blog on this one because it was late at night. I didn't really think we needed to wind it down. I'll just go to this point. Oh, what the heck? Highlight the whole lot now. Couldn't get it reading. There we go, reading.
Conclusion: BlackBlock's role in the scam. The February training video confirms what many already suspected. Goliath Ventures is not built on real investments. It is built on rehearsed compliance scripts, insurance smokescreens, and a network of promoters coached on how to pitch without proof. BlackBlock and Wealth MD are not independent watchdogs. They are active participants in the credibility game, wrapping a Ponzi in a suit and tie, then stamping it with the illusion of legitimacy.
It's like, let's say McDonald's, and they have to be have a food stamp to say that they're compliant. But just so happens the guy that's doing the compliance works at McDonald's. It's the same
Real
thing.
companies show contracts, revenues, and audited accounts. Goliath shows PowerPoints, lifestyle branding, and an insurance slide designed to close deals.
Yeah. Oh, it's just sucking.
The question
It's
now
so
is not if
bad.
this collapses, but when. And thanks to whistleblowers, leaked documents, and recordings like this, investors have a chance to see the truth before it's too late.
Right. Now, a bit about me. How was this research done? OSINT, open source intelligence. I explain it all here. Anything I've used today is public information. That's what OSINT mean, open source. And about me, well, I have been featured in the New York Times. I'm a New Zealand journalist, and I expose Ponzi schemes and scams. And I've been featured in quite a few publications as well, and you'll see them on my website. But the best one probably recently is Bloomberg. They did a 10-month investigation on a $1.9 billion scam. And ABC News in Australia, the Guardian newspaper, they did. We helped them put together 14 articles. On the 14th article, they actually quoted me, but they don't like quoting me because they're worried about getting sued. I'm not. Somebody did try and sue me in the New Zealand High Court for $3.85 million and lost, simply because we had so much overwhelming evidence. They filed a discontinuance an hour and a half before the High Court judge opened the case. Cost me $33,600 to defend myself. Well, it actually cost the New Zealand taxpayer because I don't have any money. So, and he gave them a scolding reprimanded them, gave them a scolding letter, basically saying it was a gag writ to shut me up and to stop investigative journalists. It was a really amazing. So it sort of gave me a lot of education on how these lawsuits work. So if you want to do a lawsuit against me for using your own information, go for it. You won't win. I've got the best defamation lawyers in New Zealand. Defamationlawyers.co.nz if you want to find my lawyers. And also news.com. These are all the places I've been in the newspaper. So it's really, really cool. So that was my blog about the video you're about to watch. And I think it was necessary. And I've done it for two reasons here. Is because if you're an investor, people say to me, oh, I want proof, like the guy that was yelling at us in the chat room. So if you want proof, we've got a whole video that we're about to watch now, and it's quite long. So this was the first part of the video. And if you go to my live area of my videos, you will find my lives. They normally have got a stamp on them saying uncut. So that's that. So thank you for watching my blog and listening to my evidence about this company. If you haven't been keeping up with current events, Goliath Ventures has closed doors. They have shut themselves down. They have filed a closure, which means that there's no more investments. The company doesn't exist anymore. The only thing they can do now is pay their bills and walk away. And they're paying the bills with your money. So thanks for watching the first half of this live video. Hello, have I got a video for you? So we've just done a video exposing Christopher Delgado and Matt Burks and BlackBlock, and also another one called Global Ventures. And we've found this condemning video where they're doing leadership training, which is quite a hard case. And we're going to play that video and we're going to do a voiceover on it. It's quite long, so that's why I did break this into two segments. So if you have been watching the first half, thank you very much. But now we'll go into the second half of this video and we'll get straight into it without further ado. So this is a video, and the guy that's opening up this video is actually Christopher Delgado. Delgado, if I'm saying it right now, I think Delgado. And this video speaks for itself. If you want a breakdown of everything that you hear in this video, just scoot back to, you can go to the description in the video you're watching right now, and there's a link to the blog, and you can read all about it, my breakdown, and would love your feedback on it as we go. So here we go, kids.
All right, good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Morning. Let's grab our seats. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Mike, stop talking. First off, I want to thank everyone for being here today, clearing their schedules. Nadia from coming up from Fort Lauderdale, and then the BlackBlock team coming over from Tampa, Sarasota area. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you, Team Goliath, for being here as well. This is an exciting day. You know, over the last couple of years, we've been building Goliath, and a lot of changes have come. A lot of great changes have come. A lot of personal impact has come to everyone's singles lives, and this is just one of those other things that's going to help us build such a solid foundation for our company. And so we couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without Nick and Jay building this foundation and getting the team assembled. So thank you. Round of applause for them too. So thank you guys both. They really set the vision. I'll tell you that, guys. Like, we wouldn't be here without them two setting the vision and seeing what we can build. And then obviously everyone's contribution for believing in Goliath and coming on board and giving everything that they got. So from my heart to you guys, thank you for all your trust, your belief, and your support. So I truly appreciate it on my end. With that said, as we emerge into a new era, as Goliath emerges into a new company, a lot of things come with that, and we share that vision with the BlackBlock team, and we're excited to where the future holds. We've seen over the last couple months what you guys have brought to our company, the value you guys have brought to our company, and the validation for us, and we can't go the next couple of years without you guys. So you guys have really set us on an upward trajectory, and we're truly thankful for that, and we're truly thankful for this partnership. So thank you guys. So as we get started, I'm going to turn it over to the BlackBlock team. This is their session. Just as our chats and emails have gone, this session really is for everyone to get all their questions answered, to ask questions, to get any materials or any ideas that you guys have that you guys want to bring back to your partners. So everything you guys ask in the chat, from documentation to changes in agreements to our insurance and fidelity bonds, this is what that meeting is for. So please ask your questions. Don't hold it off for the chat, because if you do, then I'm going to tell you to go yourself. So thank you guys again for being here. Thank you guys for dedicating your day to be here. I know we're all super busy, and this is very important, not only for the company, but for myself as well. So with that said, I'm going to turn it off to Mr. Piers and Mr. Matt. They have your guys' undivided attention. Please be off your cell phones as much as possible today, and please make sure that your day is available for these guys. So thank you, guys.
Thank you. Mike the man.
Perfect.
So obviously that's Chris. I'm going to get that name. I was going to call him Christopher Lord. So that's his introduction to the video, and then you've got Matt Burks taking over, put the mic on, and I don't know who that guy is on the left though. I'm glad Queen Akama mentioned about the mirror. It's sort of, I think it's a modern mirror, but it looks like it's got rust all over it. But I think that's actually a modern mirror. But yeah, I looked at that too. Like, what's going on with the mirror? But I'm glad you picked that up. We'll carry on. Now I'm going to actually go away and cook myself breakfast, because I've only had 3.5 hours sleep tonight. So I have a virtual Danny. Did you know that? So because I don't want to be done. So if as long as I'm in this video, I can use this video. So that's my virtual Danny. But I will put that up, and I won't be here all the time, because I have listened to this a couple of times already. And some of the stuff is absolutely amazing, but I want it online because it's breathtaking. So let's carry on. They're 3 minutes in.
All right.
It's about that time.
It
yeah.
is that time. Thank you, everybody,
guess
for being
we're
here.
here.
I'm Piers Curry. This is Matt Burks, founders of BlackBlock. I want to thank our team for being here, Aaron, Nicole, Pam, for their support, integral in the rolling out of what we're going to be doing for you guys today and into the future. I want to talk first about kind of how we got here, right? We are you, right? We're directors ourselves.
We are you.
Oh, that's the new name, not executive partners. We'll
Just
get
a
to
little.
that.
We'll get there. It's
But
fine.
we are you. We started by investing our own money with Chris, then looking out towards helping other clients of ours invest their money. And in doing so, we said, because our background is traditional finance, right?
Right.
20 plus years with the two of us in stocks, bonds, financial advising. So we're very familiar with compliance and regulatory measures.
Sure
we
you are.
started looking at what we were doing and said, we need to not wait for us to be regulated, but assume we're going to be regulated.
Is
and go
that
ahead
crack up?
and set up all of our own internal compliance systems so that the day that regulation hits, we're already fully good to go. Or if someone just knocks on the door and says, hey, what are you doing? We're already ready to go. Client records look
I
good.
think they're knocking on the door now.
That's the origin story. So when we brought that to Nick and Chris and showed them what we were doing, that's ultimately what kicked us off.
Hey, wonder how many red flags we can spot in this video.
You know, it's exciting from our standpoint because, and I will say, I give Chris and Nick and you guys kudos because honestly, what we're doing for you guys, really, to our knowledge, no other company in this space is doing.
Oh, here we
so
go.
There's not like a lot of blockchain and crypto spaces
time I've ever seen.
that are actually doing any type of regulation. So the fact that we're even tipping
they're not. They're just talking
putting our toes
about
in
it.
that water, it's exciting for us because I think it's going to happen. And with that said, as Chris mentioned, since we've come on, hopefully most of you guys I've had conversations with, so hopefully we've been able to provide some good value from that standpoint with some of your new partners you're onboarding. And we're even looking ahead to some of the things that we're working on. Just so you guys know, it's not just about Goliath. We want to help bring regulation to the industry, and we think this is the administration that makes the most sense to try and do that. So we actually are working with the chair of the Financial Services Committee with his office, French Hill, and we're going to have a meeting with him here in the next few weeks up in D.C., where essentially we're trying to, and of course Goliath will be the poster child for this, where we try and actually start affecting legislation. So we want to actually do some things that make sense from that standpoint long term, not just let's put some things in place, but let's do something that survives beyond this 4-year administration. And so that's kind of really the whole goal here is we want to actually step into that role, put some things in place, and then have it affect long-term change, because what we don't want is the SEC to try and create legislation through lawsuits, which is what they're currently doing. You know, the DOL has a pretty big authority handle as well, so they could make up a new law that says, oh, well, we're going to do this. In our industry, overnight, they created something called Reg BI, which is Reg Best Interest. We found out about it. It completely reshaped our industry. Like, it literally changed the way we did business overnight, and it was not Congress passed. It was a law that the DOL passed, or that they got through, so a ruling from a workforce standpoint. So they can do that for crypto as well. So that's why we see how important it is to actually start looking in those directions.
And they are trying.
They're trying.
You
They're
know,
absolutely
they
trying.
are. We have a good administration right now that's supportive of crypto, so we're going to lean into that for the next 4 years and take as much advantage of it as we possibly can. So we're excited to be working with Chris and the entire team to move this vision forward. We see a significant opportunity for growth, as you guys have all exhibited. The speed at which Goliath is growing is fantastic, and this is a monumental opportunity for us to completely legitimize the space and make sure that we can get us.
So
as
that
close
means
to
it's not
bulletproof
legitimate
as
at the moment.
possible,
I would take that
you
as.
know, with the guidance that we have. And to Matt's point, ultimately we're working to get up to DC so that we can actually create the model that everybody else has to follow. And that, thank you for your vision in the space. A tip of the hat, Chris, for doing what you're doing, but then seeing what we want to do too, man.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
So we got a lot to cover.
Some of the fun stuff first. This is some fun stuff, some brand consistency. You want to kick it off?
I'm telling you. So we have an entire investor relations team on our staff. All they do is
So
make
that
sure
PDF
communications are clean.
is on the
I should say all they focus
blog.
on. They
If
do
you want to have a look at that, follow along.
clean communications, that what we're saying is compliant.
Right.
That no attorney, no anybody can come after us, no regulator can come after us for what we're saying, making claims or anything like that. But add to that, they can also help to make sure that the brand of Goliath is consistent across the board. So all communications, all materials,
Good
everything you guys
stuff.
have in the field, right down to the website, the newsletter, everything matches, looks right, and help us work towards a consistent brand, right? Like, we know Chris, but what is the Goliath brand?
Yeah.
And so they're helping us to come up with that so that you guys all have consistent feel and language when you're out in the field talking to people.
You've reached brand like implementation when your name becomes synonymous with what you're trying to do, right? You don't go search for something, you Google it. So because Goliath is a big player in this industry, that's where we're like, okay, Goliath has made it. When Goliath is literally the example other companies look to aspire to, that's what we want. And so with that, we know sales materials is important, and you guys have been asking, hey, we got to have things to put in front of people. The thing is that as Piers mentioned, we're trying to make sure everything we're giving you is legally compliant, that the legal side says this is okay to put in front of potential partners. So we don't like to roll things out too quickly, because when we do that, then we have to roll things back. So we'd rather err on the side of be a little slower. But one of the big things that we'd like to show you guys, because I feel like you'd probably want to see it, this is the pitch deck that you guys are familiar with. And these are some of the things that they've put together within that to kind of give some consistency. Again, like Piers said, where everything's branded, it's the same message, just slightly repackaged. So we'll kind of like give you like a sneak peek of what that's looking like, because that also has to go with Chris as well. But they're working on this. So this is the exact pitch deck of what you guys currently have, but it's rebranded. And it is a compliant-friendly message. So everything that's in here is actually approved. So you can kind of see, this is the pitch deck. Yeah, who is Goliath? What is the past, the present, the future? You kind of see some consistency here. Statement from Chris, which is, of course, great to have his photo and statement right there at the top. What do we do? Some of the landscape, what does it look like from a market environment standpoint? Love these type of facts there. And then, of course, liquidity pools,
bullshit.
How we actually make money. What is that? So again, these are all compliant-friendly things. Introducing you to the DeFi space. What does that look like? Providers versus pools.
This is so basic.
And then just a story of growth. What has crypto done from its inception, right? You've got user adoption, market cap, development.
So they were claiming to be
the
crypto
things that
investments.
are happening is a big deal. And then, of course, this is the
With
page
no
you all
proof.
like and love. Insured and bonded. This is a big deal. This is all compliant friendly in the way that we're saying it. So this is the slide no other company can show that might do liquidity pools.
There's a reason for that.
They don't have that. And then, of course, what are we built on? Decentralized exchanges.
So if you want to go back to
And then to you.
To this?
yeah, to that. This is guys, this is what sets us apart from every other company in the space. This is the deal closer. It's not the Goliath suite. So I don't want to see any more messages that we need tickets to close deals in the Goliath suite.
This is true.
Damn it.
This is the slide that closes your deal. If this slide doesn't close the deal, then the guy's just fucking with you. Okay? That's it.
This is an important line to Chris's point. First in kind. We built this insurance suite for Goliath. You guys are the only ones that have it.
Wow. And now they've shut the doors.
That's awesome. I agree. That's an exciting page, and we're excited. Then you can see as Piers scrolled down, there's disclosures and disclaimers at the bottom.
That's the cool part.
This is the fun part that we like to have in there. This is the real money shot. Obviously, these are the things that we put in that make everything compliant. There's another piece I wanted to show to you because it's very
So I've got that pitch deck in the blog. So if you go to the bottom of the video you're watching right now, there's a link in there that leads to my blog. And in my blog, you will find the pitch deck that they're showing on the screen. So if you want to have a close look at this stuff, but the breakdown that they're about to do with their trainers is condemning.
Close to being able to roll out and be partner friendly.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
Can you just go back 2 slides?
Oh, sure. Will you pop back to that?
One more.
Can we just stay on compliance, Penny?
We love the compliance, Boone.
The
Here.
word the exchange is spelled wrong, so just
Oh,
in
yeah.
case we're putting it out. I just want to make sure that
It's with a C.
Listen, we
They
did
can't even
that
spell
because we wanted to make
compliance
sure you guys
correctly.
are paying attention. And Poon gets the award. We have a special award.
This is not approved for use.
So
This is our draft.
we said close, Poonie. We said close. Focus on the pretty, but okay. All right. Well, Poon gets to be our proofreader now, so we have
all
it.
kidding, like aside, that's the closer.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have that degree of language in there with the insured and bonded, it
It's
says
a big
we're
deal.
vetted, we're cleared. And when we talk about having those insurance coverages in place, just to sidebar for a second, like that's a huge deal. We sat with the underwriters at the insurance companies. who were like,
Bullshit.
okay, we've never
I don't
seen
even
this
believe that.
before.
Yeah.
You have to take us through every single piece, one of which is what Matt wants to show you next. But like, what's the glide path of money? What are the securities in place? What are they actually doing? So our knowledge had to be top tier to
Right.
even get them to look at us, let alone get underwriters to actually put together full insurance policies for this.
If you think it's hard to sell a partner to give you money, it's real hard to sell an underwriter to
An
insure.
insurance company to insure
Like
something
to insure
they've
this.
never seen
And to
before.
Chris's credit again, it's not cheap. You probably would assume this. This insurance is very expensive. It's very expensive, and it's pretty much for partner confidence. That's literally the reason he's spending this money. So very, very exciting. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. We're going to rebrand it a little bit. But every time I've shown this to you guys, it's a nice visual of like when someone says, well, how does my money make money? That's the
Yeah,
question.
what a
that we
great
get very
question.
often, right? So you've got where your initial partner funds come in. It gets wired into Goliath. Goliath transfers it to an institutional Coinbase account, converted there to USDC, and then it's transferred where it's like on-chain to an encrypted ledger. Then I like to show from this point, once it's on-chain, we use whitelisted liquidity pools. This is the part where your money makes money. That's important for people to see. Like, where does my money make money? In Uniswap right here. This is where you actually make money. Then you exit the funds back into encrypted ledgers and the process repeats. When someone says, how do I get my money back? Well, it starts here. We transfer it back to the institutional Coinbase, and then it comes back through a wire transfer, unless they're wallet to wallet. But that's like, they actually put together another version of this that I like. That is a little more interactive where you can just kind of walk people through it. Like, so what does it look like when I give you money? Because that's the number one question people ask the most is, what actually happens to my money when I give it to you? And so
Now, this would be a good time to tell people to do the poll. We've got a poll in the chat room. If you are watching this on your phone, at the bottom of the video, there's a little wee 2 dots, and one's for comments, and the other one, you slide it across, you'll be able to go into the live chat, and then you'll be able to do the poll. So we've got 12 votes so far, and we've got who really running global Goliath Ventures circus? Matt's magic insurance tricks, Chris, the whip cracking ringmaster, compliance clowns at BlackBlock. We should get another name for that. Investors funding the popcorn. So that's the bit of fun. We keep it a bit fun. It's too boring, but this is actually quite interesting. Looking at this graph, because they've got no proof of anything that they're actually doing. No, they talk about a ledger, or but there's nothing. They've given us nothing. We've asked for it. We've asked for proof of how they're generating these funds, and obviously it's a Ponzi scheme where they're using new investor money to pay old investors, and hoping that they're just going to have everyone investing in them, and then they'll fall off and they'll call themselves Madoff too. Bernie Madoff with all their money twice. So a new guy.
this kind of breaks it down for them to give them a nice picture of, okay, this is how we make money with your money. And I do know, Puneet, before you say it, I do know there's an issue. I will fix that. Any questions on the sales side stuff? We're going to get all this to you guys very shortly. Yes, Mike.
I was asking on when the time is for that on the sales.
I mean,
Pending Chris's approval.
pending Chris's
it can be
approval,
immediate.
it could be as soon as this week. It'll be within a week for sure. Yeah,
And the
yeah.
same thing with the bond, is that gonna be on like a one pager? I know you guys kind of put it on 2 slides, but it's gonna be.
So the bond, it will be in the pitch deck, and then we're working on a second one or a third one pager that actually, it kind of looks like a Morningstar report, and that is where we have the actual bond language on. So it's in the disclosure. So there'll be like another one pager. So you're actually gonna have that, which has some performance data history that shows, and what that'll have is it'll show how much partner dividends have been paid out, like in 24, 23, 22. So those are numbers, because the other thing you want to kind of do, guys, is like shift your language away from percentages. You don't really, like, we don't want to say, well, this amount of money came in and this amount of money was paid out, because then you can figure out, okay, well, what are percentages? How much Goliath makes is irrelevant. What is relevant is how much the partner makes. That's all that they should care about.
It might
and
be
that's all you
relevant
should
now
be
the company
discussing.
shut down.
But this shows them, wow, Goliath paid out, it was over $100 million, to my knowledge, in 24. Over $100 million in dividends in 2024. That's a huge deal. So those are the things that we want people to know about. So you'll have that one pager that will have all the insurance as well. So 3 really key pieces will be coming you guys' way within the next week that we hope will really give you some good knowledge and empowerment to meet with people. Any other questions on the?
So that was the clip that we put at the beginning of this video, because he's claiming that they've paid out $100 million worth of dividends in 2024. Now, if you go with the calculator, you can probably work out how much money, if that figure's correct, of course. You could probably work out how much money people have invested, and why I'm getting a lot of people, whistleblowers, coming forward now. So I feel for the people that have lost their money in this investment, and also I have to say, it sounded too good to be true, didn't it? I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I'm trying to stop people investing money in these scams. I call them scams because they are. And just because you made money doesn't mean that you're the friend or the family member that you introduced into it is going to make that same money. They're not. They're paying you your interest. So if you can get your money out, but companies shut down now, do you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Chris is going to fly to Dubai, and Matt Burks is going to be left holding the bag, because that's what all these scammers do. We've already found that Christopher has ties with somebody in Dubai. So this whole scam could have been invented, because 3 years ago, Chris wasn't really anybody that big, and now he's an oozing, squoozing, millionaire status, Learjet flying, whatever, Gumpy. And now everyone's going to be left holding the bag. And why would a company shut down? Why? Well, to go into the community area of my YouTube channel, we've got a discussion that hopefully will start up soon. But I posted that exact question.
No, I'll stress one thing when we're talking about the bonding or insurance coverage, we cannot sell against it. We can't use that for
Correct.
sales, like, buy us, we're bonded. It's informational. Hey,
Yes.
by the way, it's bonded, it's first in class. Here's information on it. You can read up on it. Let me know if you have any questions about the specific coverages. It's just meant to be a reassurance, not a closing tool.
To Chris's point, that page in the deck is the main one, because that's where it's like, okay, you walk people through it, and then on top of that, wait, it's insured. That is kind of like the climax of the deck, because you walk them through it to that point, and then you're like, wait a second, there's actually some kind of insurance on this. We just want to make sure that you guys are saying it correctly when you talk about it. So we will give you a cheat sheet of the coverages to give you an idea, like just a quick overview. I don't think we have this anywhere else in the presentation, do we?
It's not, no.
So real quick, there's what's called errors and omissions insurance, which essentially covers you guys if you missell Goliath and say something materially wrong and it causes a partner loss. That insurance would cover that as you're covered. This is why only directors and employees of your companies can sell Goliath, because no one else is covered under E&O. It's not covered. If someone out there says something crazy, we're not covering that. So that's a huge deal. That's why it's a big deal. Only you guys are.
Oh my God, really?
There is what's called cyber insurance in place, and the cyber insurance, if there's any type
Prove
of
it.
hack or cyber or socio-engineering attack, and there's a material loss, that is covered. And then there's the bond piece, the fiduciary bond, and essentially what that covers is if there's malfeasance, if there's an
Malfeasance?
employee
What's
internal
that?
theft. You know, everyone says, who's this Chris guy that has all my money? That's what answers that question, right? That is literally the question. So we all know Chris, but people who come in and do not. So that kind of gives them that level of insurance. Fiduciary bond, yeah. And that is actually, because of that bond, just as an aside, that's why Goliath is allowed to take qualified dollars. You have to have that bond in place to be able to take qualified money. So, and we will be talking about that more in depth. But
Money
that's kinda
laundering,
like
how do they
a quick
handle that?
overview of the insurance pieces to give you an idea, hey, what's covered. It does not cover market loss. Very, very, very key. There's no insurance in the whole world that covers market loss. So if somebody wants to talk about FDIC or they want to talk about SIPC,
Is that their
which is
exit
security
strategy
investment,
then?
which is our old business,
Thanks, Susie.
there's nothing that will cover if the market goes down and I lose money as an investor. That's a market risk you have to take. If the crypto market drops and Goliath loses money, well, there's no insurance for that. It's literally against those other pieces. So just for clarity on that. Any high-level questions, quick questions on that?
High-level
or-
questions.
Mike?
Not on that, but a question from a lot of partners are like percentages covered, right, in the event of a hack. And we don't have to get too specific, but is there something that we can say when they ask that question?
Great question. And so what you say to that is, no company releases the exact percentages, and the reason is because you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit. The industry standard is 20%,
Fast
which
talker.
when you look at the total balances, Goliath falls within that. That's how you word it. That's the official answer.
The reason for that is you don't want a target on your back.
Yeah.
And the second you start letting people know your exact coverages and the limits of liability, then a bad actor can come in and go, okay, cool, now I have my line of attack. That's what I want to go after. And it's a threat to the company, so.
And if
Threat
it's
to the
not,
company.
they're not a good partner. It's just not right for them. That's okay. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on.
Yep. And you will receive specific individualized training on that as you go through the rollout for everything.
Oh.
Each one of you is going to have special training one-on-one on the systems, but then stuff like that. How do I speak to this? How do I answer these questions? What can I and can I not say? So that's all coming.
Yeah.
And now my favorite slide. It's the Goliath boat, man. You're welcome. I wonder what's in the containers. It's my favorite slide because it illustrates the point. We're all in this boat together, right?
Titanic.
Number one, it's about protecting Goliath. Number one, it's about protecting Chris and what he's created. Obviously, it's protecting our clients, but we are all in this together. Because if one of us strays off and does something and causes a lawsuit, a regulator, anything like that, all of us are affected. So not only, would one of us get in trouble, but we could potentially sink the entire ship because of just not paying attention or being, foolish with our words. And that's where that compliant language, like I said, you're going to have individual training on that. What can I and what can I not say? That's going to be a big one. To us, after doing this for 40 years combined, we know what we can and cannot say because it's been beaten into us because every day we face the risk that if you say this, you get your license pulled, which means everything.
Are these guys licensed? That's what I'd be saying.
Like that, and we've watched it
Yeah.
Numerous
plenty
times.
of times with people we know.
Yeah, close friends
associates.
we've seen. So again, that is why as directors, and we'll go over the new titles and things there, but the roles that you guys hold are critical, and this is why each one of you and your accountability is critically important. You can sink the entire ship. So
Maybe that's what happened.
It's like, we've kind of been playing with house money up to this point and hope everything works. Now that we're putting things out there, Goliath is very in the forefront. Because of Goliath's prominence and their ability to lead in this industry, they absolutely have a target. You guys have a target on your back. Like you're the ones people would come for. So it's critically important that everyone adheres to the same
Coming for you, Matt.
standards so that we know, hey, the message we're preaching is all the same and we're all holding to these standards. And if there's violations there, then we have to address it, right? And it's not us. It's our whole goal is BlackBlock, and Pierce says this all the time, it's to protect the entire entity. Like, we can't allow one person to bring down the whole ship. So that really is the key of what all this kind of comes from.
Now, I'll be clear. We don't want to attack anybody.
Sure.
Because you don't have clear rules and guidance to play in.
Wow.
It's Chris coming to us and saying, what should I do to be prepared for what could come? And that's why we're putting all this in place. It's very proactive, which beats the heck out of reactive. But coming up next, enhanced communication. Yay.
Key piece of this. So with this, it's like, well, what does that look like? One of the big pieces that we thought is we need direct lines of communication between Goliath and BlackBlock. And just to give you guys a quick aside here, BlackBlock's entire mission is to equip you as directors, currently called EPs, to service partners. We do not service partners directly. We equip you to service your partners. And so what that means is then you have to reach out to BlackBlock when you have issues, when you have problems. But we want to have a clear line of communication. So we have an entire team. There's a large team. Only a few of us are here today. We have a very large team. One of that is we have a couple of people dedicated to you guys full-time that are literally full-time employees of BlackBlock. So there's a line where you have a question, you call them, they will answer that question.
We're going to use Mike, thanks Mike, as the main point of contact so that we minimize a bunch of traffic. So for general inquiries, everything can go through Mike. He'll route that to the appropriate people. If there's a reason for us to communicate directly, certainly we'll do that. But it just keeps things clean, puts a lot more on Mike. You're welcome, Mike. That's what he was asking for.
He wanted more responsibility.
He did. He's begging for it.
That's what we read on your annual review.
And now you know what we know. This is all amateur
But
hour,
that
isn't it?
allows us to have one point of contact for you, one point of contact for us. As we get into specific lines like qualified or customer service, we have specific people dedicated to, by qualified, I mean retirement accounts that we want to be able to
Jay, yes, they've closed their doors.
You'll
No,
have specific
no time to
points of
invest.
contact. The idea is not to have all of your clients calling in, all of the investors calling in, but rather each one of you knows this is who I call when I need this. This is how this gets resolved. Gives us clean lines of communication and allows us to hit stuff and service you very, very quickly.
Right. So we're just going to take a commercial break here, kids. What we are going to do is we're going to play this. News to hand. Right, so just while I'm working in the background, we have managed to add a little bit extra into the blog. So if you are in the chat room, which we just had somebody ask, has the company gone under? Yes, it has. Yes, too late to invest in the Ponzi scheme. But this is the breaking news.
Breaking update: Goliath Ventures dissolved PDFAs of September 3rd, 2025. Goliath Ventures Incorporated has officially filed articles of dissolution with the Florida Secretary of State.
All right, so there's the filing, there's all the numbers, there's all the dates. So it's the 6th in New Zealand, so this is just a couple of days ago. Now, why is this interesting? So we're going to read this whole paragraph.
This filing is a major development. After months of glossy promises, guaranteed returns, and smoke and mirror compliance, the company has chosen to shut its doors. For investors, this should raise urgent questions. If the company was as strong as it claimed, why dissolve now? What happens to the hundreds of millions in partner funds they claim to manage? Who will be accountable for the $100 million in supposed dividends paid out in 2024? The timing of this dissolution, coming just days before Delgado's scheduled appearance as a headline sponsor at the Vault conference, is impossible to ignore. It looks less like a clean exit and more like a retreat under fire.
Yeah, so if you don't know, this is a Tony Roberts event, I presume, and it's a whole lot of business people, 12,000 tickets. And the major sponsor for the event is a company that has just closed its doors. So we wrote to, we tried to write to this company, very, very hard to do. But as you can see here, the major sponsor is a company that's been closed, this is going to happen on Monday. So what's really going to happen? It's going to be interesting. Tony Roberts, PayPal, all these names. I don't even know them. I'm not in that circle of people. So that's going to be interesting. So to sponsor an event like this, I believe it costs $100,000. Is it $100,000? I don't know. It costs a lot of money. Anyway, we'll see what happens. The plot thickens. So go back to the regulated advice they're giving you when they're not regulated. It's a bit of a joke, but I had to show you that.
And we do have that direct line, so if there's an issue you need help with right now, you can call that direct line.
There's a bad
Just
phone.
to be clear, you guys are BlackBlock's clients. We work for you. So when you do have issues, that's the clear process. If your partner has an issue, you work for them. And then if you're like, I'm not sure how to answer that, then we work for you and you bring that to us. So we're generally not directly reaching out to partners. You guys are our clients and you guys are coming to us. But there is a direct line when you need it.
All right.
Now the fun stuff.
Now the fun stuff. Yeah.
Who's that
Structural
guy?
changes that are coming in. The first one, you've heard us say a couple times, working with attorneys and Chris, we've come up with Director of Partner Services for each one of you. No longer executive partners.
You made it to directors. Congratulations.
Yeah, round
Good
of
job,
applause.
guys. You did it.
Round of applause.
We did it. We did it.
Business cards to follow. With that, that's the easy one. It's just a title change.
Yeah.
Some of the big changes are, which is to protect you and protect the company, establishing each director will establish their own LLC to do business with Goliath. So instead of individuals, you'll have a company. Creates a legal barrier. It's a limited
It's just moving the liability. It is incredible. I couldn't believe when I heard that.
liability company, which is good. The other thing that it does is it creates a clean way for you to be paid by Chris to serve your clients,
Yeah.
which are ultimately Goliath's clients, right? In servicing them in this structure, it sidesteps a bunch of regulatory stuff that de facto turns Goliath into a fund. Goliath is not a fund, so we want to avoid that language. But if you say you're a fund and you get paid like you're a fund, when someone knocks on the door, they're going to go, it's definitely a fund.
Yeah.
And it opens up a whole host of worries for all of us from a regulatory standpoint. So we do not want that.
The LLC protects you guys as well.
Yep.
Honestly.
And just to clarify, what was the correct word instead of fund?
Oh, so, okay, yeah. Joint venture private fund is what, when someone says, what is Goliath? It is a joint venture private fund. That is actually what it is called. Yes. Joint venture private fund. So
It's not
you can't say
standalone
investment.
Yeah.
Don't say investment. You can't say investment fund, hedge fund, joint venture private fund. Yeah, that is
Oh,
the
you're
exact
saved,
language when
guys.
someone asks. We always want to make sure that's how you describe it, joint venture private fund. Yeah.
And with that, you get, and this will be rolled out in the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
is
That's how you
the
say
new
it,
managed
guys, not
service
what you say.
agreements that each one of you and your companies will have with Goliath. In that way, under that contract, the MSA, you have the ability to be paid to service.
It's just gonna
those
make it harder
clients
to sue everybody
for
and get your money
Goliath
back.
Instead of Goliath having to do it all themselves. That creates the firm legal.
So the way I look at it, if you're moving money from one entity to another entity to another entity to another entity, isn't that called money laundering? So wouldn't the all the money laundering FMAs, what do they call those? That law? Wouldn't that? I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying you'd have to have compliance to move money around. So are they telling they were telling their directors now that they need to set up their own company, and then they're going to use that for moving the money around. That's what it sounds like. So this is way back in February 2024.
Structure around you getting paid as a service fee versus getting paid a commission. And that's a big piece of legal, but the attorneys have signed off.
Yeah, attorneys. And so what that means, I don't know who does or doesn't. Funds will not flow through you directly anymore. Funds will flow, partner funds flow through Goliath. You can't touch money. When you touch money, Goliath can touch money because they can do it as it's a primary function of their, or necessary function of their primary business.
Yep.
You cannot, because if you touch funds, it's actually your primary business, which makes you a money transmission service. That's not okay. So we had to come up with this new structure. You will still be responsible for giving the spreadsheet to Nadia and Chris each month. You have to tell them who gets what. That's part of your MSA agreement. And then you're responsible. You'll have your own line item, so it'll be, MC Enterprise gets, 200,000 this month with the other partners. Like, there's a number that you get paid. WealthMD will do the same, but no money will flow directly into your company. It'll flow directly out from Goliath, back and forth from Goliath. I get a question.
Doesn't sound shady at all.
No. We
No
should have
attorney
that
would
because
sign off on
you
that.
guys all have to have your LLC set up and your MSA set up, and we have to get with Chris on the timeline. Realistically, April's the earliest that we could do it. 30 days, we want your LLC set up by the end of March so we can do MSAs. David?
There are different types of LLCs. Is there a specific one?
No, you could pick. My personal subchapter S gives you the best tax benefit, but we don't care. Yeah, I would tax it as subchapter S. Single member LLC. I'm not a tax professional, not a legal advisor, but that's what I would do if I were you. I always have to give them disclaimers.
So I have right now, where I put like my personal stuff, C Corp set up. So you would recommend not utilize that, like use it for my personal stuff and now set up like a big.
Correct.
Yes.
The LLC, David, gives you a significantly higher amount of protection. With what you're dealing with in financial, you want an LLC. And don't own other stuff in the LLC. This is an LLC for your MSA with Goliath. Because what you do, if
I
you
don't even
own
know what a
other stuff
chapter
in
S
it,
is.
you've opened all of those assets to litigation.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents. I'm not an attorney, but that's what I would do if I were you. Yeah. Sure.
So just to make sure I understand, so you said like we're no longer receiving funds that goes through Goliath.
Partner funds.
Partner funds.
Correct.
Okay, so if we're no, so like the way it works right now, somebody's taking a 5K distribution this month, that gets sent to me, it gets sent to my decentralized wallet, I send that to them. So nothing goes to any sort of like any sort of so
Susie's ears are burning.
now being sent to them from Goliath.
When the karma's
That will
ears
have to, money has
are
to
burning.
flow in and out through Goliath, correct? The only money that flows to your LLC is your money that you get paid from your MSA, whatever your percentage is for, DP Enterprises or whatever that looks like. Yeah. Any other questions on that?
You guys are aware that we have Canadians.
We are.
That's you guys. Last slide. We want to just participate in the entire world area.
Yeah. Canada's a whole nother fun ball of wax. And so, because they have their own financial system, we are still figuring out
Not
exactly
closed.
how we have to figure out. So the short of it right now, they still will go through KYC and AML. We're figuring out, and we'll follow the same distribution pattern, but likely there will have to be a different agreement because our JV isn't even Canadian. It doesn't recognize it's US. So it's not even correctly drawn up for that country. So there's some issues there that we have to address. But it is on the top of list radar, yes.
It's actively being worked on.
It's being worked on by Alston Bird.
I'm just curious with our comment here from James Gott. Not closed? Well, we've got filings saying that the company's been closed. And also I've just done which I'll share the link in the chat room in a minute. Well, I'll show you. I've just posted this while we've been talking. Breaking news. Goliath Ventures dissolved. You can see this on my LinkedIn profile, and I will actually post that right now. So yes, it's not closed. It might be rebranding, you reckon? So moving the liability, why would they close? Well, you can answer that question in your own wee head. But here's the company, here's the certificate. And if you come down here, you'll see 2 links. One link will go to the company register where you can see all the reports, and the other one will go to the actual PDF file. And then I've even taken the liberty of going down here and tagging Chris in it. Why did you close your company? But yeah, no, she's closed. Gone burgers. Gone. No more money. Well, you can't do that. I don't think you can just close a company, open it up another state. Do you think he's gone to the state of Wyoming and opened up a Dayo or something? I don't know. But yeah, well, it's anyway. Even if they have opened up in another company. They're still not compliant. They still haven't got all their T's crossed and their I's dotted, and they are already taking investment money from people. And I don't think you can change that no matter what you say.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Nick.
Well, I was thinking
Wyoming. That's so funny. Oh, look, we're going to have a minute break on that one. Let's go back to here. So how shady is anyone that registered their company to the state of Wyoming? So are you telling me that we can find Goliath Ventures, Inc. in the state of Wyoming? Look, Wyoming is one of the biggest scam states of America. I've even got a bookmark on my page going straight into their website. So here they are. Here's another company that was called Affiliate Marketing 3.0 Deo LLC. They were struck off by the state of Wyoming because they provided fraudulent information. And that if you go down here, you can actually read the administrative action that they took. They didn't have a public identifier on their website. They emailed them. They didn't have any contact details. The whole company was set up. And it was done by an agent that had also registered, I think, 72,000 companies that doesn't even exist. This company got struck off. And then 3 months later, do you know what they did? Is they went and set up a new company. So that's the old company. And if you look very carefully, this is the new company. Exactly the same name, exactly the same registrar. And also now they are providing in the reports. So if I went here and we did a search, Susie might be able to help me on this one. I don't even know how to do a search on this, but I presume you can search and find somehow. How do you do search on? Oh, here we go, search. So if we go and search for, has he got the same name? Sorry. Oh, look, he has got, it's good. So there he is. So they've moved the company over to Goliath, active and status. So they are registered there. So let's have a look at when. Current status is current. It says it's active. Goliath Ventures. Now, when was that done? Let's have a look. History. Let's have a look. History. See the filing. It was done. Is that 3 days ago? So they've moved it to the state of Wyoming. Oh my God. So if we go to here, let's have a look. So this is what we see all day long, which is just absolutely crazy. So they've moved it from one state to the other because I assume the state doesn't allow them to do things that they want to do to hide. So this is actually just a joke. Harry Samuel, same guy, I believe, whoever Harry is. We'll go to here and then we'll come down here and we'll see Christopher signature. So is it right that they've shut down one company and theoretically been taking money for all the investments under a company in, is it Wyoming? Am I saying that? Not Wyoming. Orito. I can't even, well, where they were. And now they've closed the company down, moved all the assets over to another company with the state of Wyoming. That is just a joke in itself. So that's quite cool. So yeah, so that's quite good. But in the meantime, it's still the company that they were trading as has shut down. And the fact that they've decided to move it over, this is like saying to people, we're actually going to move our company over to the Maldives. We're going to move to the British Columbia, and we're going to do business over there. Or, it's just moving liability is why these companies move. And if this gives you peace of mind, just because they're using your money to pay you interest, my recommendation, I'm not a financial advisor, I don't care, but I'll take your money out. Take all your money out. Everybody that's invested, take your money out, because theoretically they're paying you dividends from your money. So it just means that you're not going to get dividends for a few months. So if everybody pulled the money out, you would find that there is no trading as they claim. It's just smoke and mirrors. This is a Ponzi scheme. It's not rocket science. And the fact that the company can just close itself down and then put a statement on their LinkedIn profile 9 hours or 10 hours ago now, stating that they don't do mining, in-house mining, and have no proof of any of this. We've written to Chris, and we've got the silence is deafening. And we've written to Matthew, who promised me a right of reply by the end of the day, which is his day now. And now they've come back and said they want to jump on a Zoom meeting with me and talk to me instead. I mean, are they kidding me? What type of company acts in that manner? This video that you're watching here fully condemns the practices of this company. It speaks for itself. I don't need to even speak. That's why I've been so quiet. But let's carry on.
Canada's the weirdest one. Like UAE, we have a lot of UAE people. Those are fine. Yeah, Canada's a weird bird. Yeah, Canada's a weird bird. Nick?
For the client pay on wallets, where we with that, or what's our plan as far as not being fully in transmission of wallets to wallet?
I know. We're still figuring that piece out. I've got to get with Chris and Nadia to figure that, because that would be Chris. We have a way internally with BlackBlock that we can assist, because we're going to have to assist with that. So we will still do it, but it will have to on some level come from BlackBlock. I'm sorry, from Goliath. If it comes from any other entity, we're a money transmission service. They're the only ones that are allowed to do it legally.
But even it being decentralized?
Even decentralized, because once the book gets opened, you know how that is. It's like once they come in, and it could be something stupid like an IRS audit that opens the book on that. It literally could be that dumb, which is not out of the realm of possibility.
Did you guys decide if we're sticking with just USDC or wires, or is it can still be a hybrid of both, or like when it comes from Goliath?
Yeah, that's what we're talking. So you can still do the wallet to wallet. We're still figuring out though the functional piece of that implementation. It's way easier to do wires, to be perfectly honest. You know, fiat is way easier than crypto, but obviously a lot of people are in crypto, so we got to figure that piece out. Yes, sir.
I feel like a lot of times people's like input with the crypto side, obviously, like the whole thing with taxes. I feel like the whole part of going compliant, right, is that last step of paying taxes, like in the business world, like that's on the individual, right? Like companies already have that protection. So if we're sending it out, it's the same thing, right? Like Goliath is going to document whether it's a wire or crypto, it's documented, and then that's up to that individual to do whatever they want.
Goliath will
100%.
produce 1099s, which BlackBlock will assist in at the end of the year 100%. Whether what they do with it, we don't care. But on their end, they're covered.
So the 1099 for 2025 will include crypto?
Yes.
Exactly.
It'll be a 1099B. We have vetted that multiple times. We can get into that further on a offline conversation, but yeah, it will be a 1099.
Taxes are a big problem. It's okay.
And again,
It means you're making money.
And if something's not taxed, that's a red flag. Like that adds, again, legitimacy to what we're doing. That adds legitimacy to what we're doing, because any investment, anything that you put money into and it grows, it's going to be taxed on some. That's just, we all know this. So, and you tell people, oh, I don't want to pay. Well, okay, can you earn 50% somewhere else? Show me where you can earn a similar amount, and then we'll have it. And even if you do, your 5% yearly CD, you get taxed on that. So that's just a piece of it. But yeah, so MSAs from Director of Partner Services to Goliath, new JV agreements will begin rolling out next week, on Monday.
Yeah, and we know you get a lot of tax questions in the field. It's just defer.
Absolutely.
None of us are tax advisors. Everybody I talk to in the CPA world has a different opinion, including the retained value inside the JV itself. There's a lot of speculation. There is no clear ruling right now. So.
And to note on that too, it's not Nadia's job to give tax advice. So you cannot be sending your people over to Nadia.
I'm always going to tell you to talk to your tax advisor.
Yeah.
That's right. She knows the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Talk to your, and that's what you say too. Like there's questions that we know the answer to because we've done it for 20 years.
Yep.
But I will say an answer, and I will always say, you have to consult your tax advisor. I am not a tax advisor. I will disclaim it every single time. So even if I know 100% what the answer is, I will never, because you don't want to take that liability on.
Taxes is different than the way their tax advisor.
Exactly. To Pierce's point, every CPA is different.
Yep. Yeah. And then there's Canada.
No, there we go. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, just like how every attorney has a different opinion on operations and legal docs, every CPA and tax advisor is going to have a different way of what they're comfortable structuring it out. So you're going to get some tax advice that's going to say X, it's going to benefit you more. You're going to have some tax advice that's going to say X, it's going to benefit the government more.
And I'm going to tell them we'll take a break.
However their tax person feels most comfortable claiming it and filing it. It's not a one-on-one, this is the standard. Every person's going to have their own opinion. That's why they need to talk to their own people.
Yep, exactly.
Mike? Sorry, Poon. I didn't know whose hand. Yes.
I'll go. Just going back to the way that funds will be distributed to clients, I'm not sure if it's like a concern or a problem because more work for the company, but let's say that was. In order to simplify things, wouldn't it be possible to create new wallets that are Goliath-owned wallets, even if, let's say, I operated the wallet and sent it out to the clients, but if that wallet is only used for funds to be sent out to clients, only nothing for my own personal use, could that not still be claimed as like a Goliath-owned wallet, and then it kind of simplifies the work on behalf of Goliath rather than...
That's a good thought, and theoretically, yes, that could work, and we may have thought about that. That's a very good thought that we have potentially thought about.
However, even though we're our own entity, would that be a problem?
What's that?
If I use that wallet, but I'm 21 Ventures.
It would be a Goliath-owned wallet. It'd be a Goliath.
I would give Mike the keys to the ledger.
Correct.
500 grand in here, go disperse it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how, and that can be included in the MSA, correct? So you're doing that on behalf of Goliath, not on behalf of 21. What was your question, Poon?
You guys had mentioned that a 1099 would be given in 2025 or whatever it was. Is that for wires or is that, if that's for crypto, then do they also get a 1099 from Coinbase and they're taking it into Coinbase as well?
So if they, and if they do, they would offset each other. So even if they have two, they would offset. So it'd be up to their CPA to know, but yes, you don't pay double taxes.
Right.
So even if like we got Coinbase 1099s, but if you already claim it over here, then your CPA disallows one of those, is essentially what happens. Not a tax advisor, but that's what I think they do.
1099s don't show money movement.
It is. It's you only get a 1099. You can get a 1099 if you made money on it. That's what. Yeah. So there's two versions. There's a record of deposit, which is what Nadia is talking about, where money came in, and then there's a I traded crypto and made money, which is 1099. That 1099 you're still on the hook for because you made money. But a record of deposit is different, but you still want to include that in your tax filing because Coinbase lets people know Puneet brought in $2 million in his Coinbase account. So the IRS wants to make sure you're showing that somewhere. So, but you can offset those. Yeah, that's good questions.
But if you stay compounding for the year, or you only take 2 distributions via decentralized, you're still going to get some type of 1099?
So
only on distributions.
Only on distributions, because and if you roll over 13 months, that does not tax advisors. That falls into long-term capital gain. So if someone were to roll for 13 months. Then you fall into a long-term capital gain versus short-term, which is a significant difference. Then you could theoretically start your distributions monthly because you're always taking the 13th month. You know what I'm saying? They're
not a tax advisor.
It's a huge difference. Yeah, not tax advisors. We've heard. I know.
Swipe.
It's like, but yes, there are ways. So offline we could talk more about those questions. But yes, there are ways to do it. Is the short answer.
Lots to talk to your accountants about.
Yeah. So that we have 2 more really important slides that we want to get through, and then we'll take a break. But these are very, very critical, and you're going to have probably questions on these. The first is our new investor and partner standards, and the next is qualified funds. That we intentionally close this session out with this. So lock in, stay with us. So what we are saying here is the new account minimum for JV contracts is $100,000. What Chris has decided is existing partners who are under the $100,000 minimum will have 90 days to meet the minimum standard. So they'll get a notice that they're under the threshold and they have 90 days to bring themselves up to that. The second piece, and these are not BlackBlock rules, by the way. These aren't Chris rules. Everyone does have to be an accredited investor. What that means is, to be clear, like I've heard different interpretations, it's not $1 million in Goliath. It is a net worth. Take everything that you own and put it together. That's your net worth.
Except for your house.
Is it $1 million? Yeah, except for your house, primary resident. So if you own a second house. And then do you make more than $200,000 individually or $200,000 as head of household? 300,000 as head of household, meaning married, filing jointly. Now, how do we know if they are accredited or not? In the new KYC link that you'll send out to people when they onboard, they have to fill out an attestation. Yes, I'm an accredited investor. It lays out what it is. so they have to answer to that question. If someone answers no to that question, it will be what's called a NIGO, not in good order. We can't onboard them.
Oh.
So this is from the attorney side. This is not, again, this isn't like, we're not trying to prevent business. We want everyone to be able to invest, to partner with Goliath. But the reality is,
everyone to give their money
this
away.
is one that's a pretty big sticking point.
Yeah, the legal precedent stands. We are in a complicated enough financial instrument that if somebody is not considered an accredited investor or sophisticated investor, is a language they use outside the U.S., then they have no business trying to figure this out and understand it. They may be the smartest person in the room. It does not change the fact that from a legal standpoint, that's the rule.
That's the rule.
To stay compliant.
Be compliant.
To not run the risk of. In other words, if somebody complains and they're an accredited investor, the SEC, FINRA, the governing bodies go, "Oh, you're an accredited investor."
Yeah, but don't worry about that, guys, because they're not anybody at the moment. They're applying. They've got all their ducks in a row, but they're nobody at the moment. So if you complain, they'll say, well, this isn't a regulated financial advisor. These people don't have these qualifications. They're talking about when they do get these qualifications.
Tough nuts. Even if they lose everything. You knew better. You're an accredited investor. You should be smart enough to figure it out on your own. If they are under that threshold and we knowingly let them in, then when they complain, they go, come on.
Yeah, the next part's quite interesting what they say
next. To be
next.
able to properly vet what you guys are doing. If you lost everything, that's your fault, not the investors.
The blame game.
That's the difference. It's where does the liability lie? So
there's another key point. The insurance that Goliath has in force covers accredited investors.
Yep.
We had to answer that question.
Let's see the
Are
insurance
you only dealing with
policy.
accredited investors?
Wouldn't you want to see the insurance policy?
That whole insurance thing is null and void if we're not dealing with accredited investors.
Okay.
So again, there's like multiple pieces. We have circled the wagons time and time and time again to figure out, hey, can we get around this? Can we pool people to become like we've literally, any question you can think of, we've asked because that's the one that we're like, gosh, how do we figure this out? And we cannot get around. Like there's just no way for us to get around it. We have tried everything that you can think of.
Everything.
Piers and I have racked our brains with attorneys to come out. Like we've been peppering them like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? Like every time we had an idea, well, let's see. And it just didn't work, unfortunately.
You may not pool investors to become an accredited investor.
Just for the purpose of becoming accredited, we asked.
Put them into an LLC and just, the LLC is accredited, we're fine. That is actually breaking the law at that point. This is just a general violation that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
That's breaking the law.
Gotcha.
Puneet, what was your question?
Yeah, and I think we spoke about it, but just so everyone can hear, you can't have custodial accounts. Is that correct?
Custodial accounts for minors, correct. You cannot own an account. We do not do UTMA accounts under trust for minors. So you can own an account and you can earmark it for your kiddo if you'd like to do it that way, but you can't actually have their name on the account unless they're 18. That's a good question. Mike?
So we're going to be going back to all existing partners to verify that they are accredited investors?
So will we be verifying existing partners is the question.
Now, remember that they have paid out $100 million worth, their words, not mine, in dividends in 2024. Now, the guys just asked a question there whether they'll have to go back to all the investors and find out whether they're accredited or not. They've already started doing business. Is that what am I missing here? If I'm wrong, tell me.
That's a good question. When we send out the new KYC AML link that they fill out, they will have to fill out that attestation. So there's a box that you check that says, I am attesting to, I meet the standard for accredited investor. So it will go out to existing. When we get to your book of business, then they'll go out.
And real quick.
I'm not we're not vetting them, so I'm not, at this point, we're not following up. I'm not going to make them send in a PFS, a personal financial statement. If they go from no to yes, we will make them send in a PFS.
And, it's obviously not good, but what happens if 30% of the funds in the company come from people who aren't accredited investors?
They don't, we've looked. Yeah, they don't.
You're saying 30% don't?
No.
Less or more?
Well, no, it's much less. Yeah, we looked. We did look. No, it doesn't. It actually affects a very small percentage.
It's our guess from the profile.
We can get close, and that's even just based off. A lot of people satisfy accredited almost just by their balance, by their partner balance. So it's actually a very small percentage.
But to clarify, that moving forward, of course, you need to be accredited, but for the customers or clients that are already in, they're going to get a form. They'll have to fill it out. If they're a trustworthy person and they know they're not an accredited investor, I mean, they're basically just saying, "Hey, I got to get my money back."
That's essentially what they're saying. Correct.
If they do choose to say whatever they choose to say, they'll obviously just be staying in, and if they're under 100, they have 90 days.
They have to bring it up. Correct. That's all correct.
It's a legal protection. If someone lies and says that they're a accredited investor and that they're not, we've already crossed the T's, dotted the I's, that's on them.
Correct.
If they lose their money, we go back to the courts and say, they said they're an accredited investor, we've done our due diligence, they lied to us, the liability falls on them.
100%. So,
just we'll have another commercial break. Another newsroom moment happening, coming in live here, guys. Just going to make it a bit bigger. News to hand. I've got lots of informants, lots of people telling me stuff, and just a few minutes ago we found out that the company has now been moved from one entity, and they've moved themselves to the state of Wyoming. So I've just added this new paragraph into the blog, which you can read. That's in the description of the video you're watching. There we go.
Breaking twist, Goliath's Wyoming shell PDF owned the very day Goliath Ventures filed dissolution papers in Florida, September 3, 2025. Christopher Delgado signed incorporation documents in Wyoming, creating a brand. New Goliath Ventures incorporated under the same name. Wyoming is notorious for its corporate secrecy. Unlike Florida, where corporate records are easier to track, Wyoming allows companies to hide behind registered agents and disclose minimal information, the filing shows.
Yeah, so we've had this before. Like, there's one lady, I've forgotten her name, Lucky Lovelace. I've forgotten her name, but anyway, her name is, and she's registered 72,000 companies, theoretically, and haven't actually, no one knows who she is. She doesn't exist. Something like that.
Incorporator President, Christopher Delgado, Registered Agent, Hubco Registered Agent Services, Cheyenne, WY Principal Office, 189S Orange Avenue, Suite 1800, Orlando, FL. Same address used in Florida. Authorized shares, 1,500 common shares.
Yeah, so same but different. Wasn't that what they had at the start there? I don't know. But anyway, so it's the same guy as Harry has gone and registered it in the state of Wyoming.
This is not the behavior of a legitimate financial firm. Dissolving one entity while immediately reincorporating another under the same name is a classic tactic to discard liabilities, complaints, or subpoenas tied to the old entity, create confusion among investors and regulators, prolong the appearance of business as usual while moving money.
Yeah, so it's quite funny. And thank you very much, Dilly Snack. I'm going to show you something funny if I can find ChatGPT. Who is... this lady sets up a lot of companies. I'm not saying she set up this company, but if you want to find out who that lady is who normally sets up the companies under the state of Wyoming, just to show you how dodgy they are. Oh, is it still doing stuff? Hold up 1 minute. It's been naughty. This is the one I was just talking about. So there we go. What's the story behind this Dobson? Is it Dobson? I'm just going to read the first couple of paragraphs, but go into ChatGPT and ask who this Lovett Dobson is.
What's the story behind Lovett Dobson? U.S. incorporator extraordinaire? The name Lovett Dobson has been used as an organizer, incorporator, or registered agent in over 70,000 business filings across the U.S., a volume far greater than common names like David Smith, which is associated with roughly 54,000companies.com. Elusive identity. Despite her prolific presence in corporate paperwork, there's virtually no public-facing information about Lovett Dobson, no LinkedIn profile, no public biography, Nothing beyond private social media traces buried beneath mountains of corporate documents. Inc.com.
Yeah, so we're not saying that's the case in this case. In fact, we've got this agent here, which we've never heard of. As far as I'm concerned, they could probably be a real agent. No public notices, parties. Oh my goodness, it's just the same scam. I mean, if I ever was going to invest in a company, and I saw that they were registered in the state of Wyoming, that would be the first red flag I'd say no to. So it's not even rocket science. It's just crazy. Thanks, Susie. Hope you both come in at the same time. Snap. All right, let's carry on.
You always just think of it like this. If you're ever in a deposition, you want to always be able to say, hey, did Mike tell you to answer that question? Yes. You know, like you want to be able to make sure, hey, I didn't tell them to answer that question. Yes. But if they lie on the form, we're not policing the form. Yeah. The question is there. It's worded by the attorney. They said make sure they answer it. That's literally the whole conversation.
But as long as we're talking about it.
And for people who are retired, is that the same concept with accredited investing? Is there a different criteria for retired people?
That's a good question, but it is the same. It is the same for retirees. Net worth is where they would likely hit it.
Income would include.
You have that both.
Mm-mm.
Oh, got it.
Income would include invested asset earnings. Okay. So if somebody's not employed, but they have earnings from their investments that meets or exceeds that threshold.
No, it's not both and. It's either or. Either or, yes,
yeah.
Benny.
So you guys will just wire back the money in the 90 days if they don't meet the threshold?
At the end of the 90 days.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
You guys would let us know. And
we would let them know because you would send out a letter. We would send a letter out on your behalf that says, hey, you know, your account is currently under X balance. You have until whatever date it is to bring your balance up to. My suspicion, it's going to bring in probably a lot of money because a lot of people who are putting their toe in the water that have the money, they've got 75. And if they have 75 and in the 90 days they compound it and it's at 100, we just need their balance to be at 100,000. We're good with that. It's got to be at 100,000 within that time.
Do we know when that 90-day period is going to
Great question.
So everyone's forced to top up their money. That's how sick it is.
Because we were talking about that the other day. Unless Chris has an issue with that, March 1st is the date we'll use. So tentatively pencil in March 1st, but we will confirm that with him. What's that? Start on March 1st, 90 days from March 1st. Yeah.
June 1st.
Communication is going to come from Goliath and BlackBlock. You guys do not need to reach out.
Correct. You do not have to say, because it will be official communication. We want it worded a certain way. And the way that we have it worded, it's not only legal approved, but it's also very nicely, it's said in a very nice way. So it's the way that you would want it said. It's worded from a sales standpoint too.
Looking at that, Matt, and we talked about this last week, but looking at that, as soon as that memo goes out, we're all getting hit with questions.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure.
So
absolutely.
So you understand how that's going to happen, and we'll get to this. We're not just doing everything all at once, 700 and some investors.
So 700 and some
everyone's
investors,
gonna be
that's
on a
interesting.
schedule so that WealthMD goes first, 25 clients a day. Then I believe Nick is second, 25 a day. You will know well in advance, and we'll go through the schedule. Yeah.
You're not going to pummel us with everyone.
So it might be more than 90 days for some partners.
It could theoretically be longer.
Yeah.
It could, correct. It's because it's 90 days, just to be clear, I say March 1st, it's 90 days from when they get the letter, just so we're on the same page.
Right,
from the day that letter goes out to them, it'll be 90 days from that date exact.
Is it emailed or physically sent?
It'll be physically sent and emailed.
I know I can't pronounce BlackBlock without getting it wrong.
accredited investor box on the form, is that applicable to their jurisdiction where they live? Or is that applicable to the U.S.?
It's kind of the same verbiage over your accredited investor anywhere in the world with this.
It's the same requirement. So as Pierre said, they call it sophisticated investor in other countries, but it's the same numbers, correct? Goliath is a U.S. company, so we have to use U.S. terminology and rules, but it's the same numbers. Yeah, so if you live in Europe, if you live in the UAE.
Even our BVI fund.
BVI.
It's the same.
BVI fund uses the exact same thing, yeah. And now they do have to provide information on that because that is an actual registered fund. Yeah, you have to have a signed letter.
To vouch that they are an investor.
Yeah, CPA, attorney, or financial advisor. You have to have it signed if it's a registered. Goliath is private, so we're not doing that. But for our insurance to pay out, we have to be able to show that we've reasonably attempted to verify people are accredited. That's kind of like the thing that we are going to be on the hook for as BlackBlock. Did you guys reasonably attempt to verify accredited investor status? And we could say, yes, we have this. They attested to it. They knew it was an attestation. That's what we have. And so that satisfies our insurance requirements.
And there's one other piece, and we keep throwing around the acronyms KYC and AML, but they stand for Know Your Customer, meaning you've done your due diligence, you know who this person is, you trust that you know who they are. AML is anti-money laundering. But what we're talking about here is KYC. This is Know Your Customer 101. If you're like, oh crap, there is no way that Tommy is an accredited investor, and that form comes back checked, yes, I'm an accredited investor, and you're like, dude, I know Tommy's not accredited. That dude doesn't have anything. You are in a very slippery area right there, where if you think someone lied on an attestation, they need to go. We can request a personal financial statement that their accountant has signed off on, and they can go, no, bro, and you don't have to see it, right? As come discreetly to us. We see that, we go, okay, we appreciate your concern. He's good, he's truly an accredited investor. No personal information is shared, but that's knowing your customer. And that's the basis of that. Because if you ever do get pulled into a depot and somebody's like, I don't know, did you think he was? And you're like, no, but did you know that he had checked the box that he was? Well, yeah, I guess so. Like, that's on you. And that is not going to end well. That is why if you think someone's lying, you got to flag them.
Got to flag them.
First Goliath's attention, let them bring them to us, and we will do what needs to be done.
We can vet it out from there, yeah.
We want a clean pool. Like, we want a clean pool of investors that are honest, diligent, careful. Again, we're all in this boat together.
If it's an LLC, do you need an attestation from every member of the LLC?
Anyone with more than 20% ownership, or 20% or more, they're called controlling interests.
Yeah.
So if anyone has an LLC, that's part of the due diligence process where you go, hey, who are your controlling partners in this LLC? Oh, I'm a sole member. Cool. Then that's a pass-through. It's just you. You can attest to it.
Isn't that a pool?
It is, but as long as they didn't create it for the exclusive purpose of becoming an accredited investor, it's fine.
You said that just like an attorney.
We're talking about it a lot.
It's all about avoiding the legal pitfalls and making sure you don't get
LLC's
stopped.
great. We love LLCs. LLCs are awesome. We love them actually more.
I've said it before, but wouldn't you think we would be talking about how they make the money rather than how they take in investors?
Do they have to be an individual or?
No, they could be either, but we love LLCs. Okay. They're actually better for the JV side. We'd love everyone to be LLCs, truthfully.
As long as they weren't set up for investment pooling purposes, then that is considered a fund and that is breaking the law.
Yeah, if you're trying to pool
Not
your resources,
you,
that's where it comes in. But yeah, LLC is great.
Going forward, if you have 4
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
No. It's what the deal is because now that LLC is big enough to come in, which is fine. They can't they can't form an investment pool exclusively to become accredited. That's the issue, not the amount of money or anything else. So as long as they're accredited, it's irrelevant. They can form a fund and invest in Goliath. They can't do it to try and bypass the accreditation rules. That's where the caveat comes in. Does that make sense?
If there's 4 people in it, do each of them have to meet the
yes.
$1 million or more?
If they're over 20%, as Pierre said, yeah.
Now, I don't know if anyone's been to the venue, but we're having a bit of discussion in the chat room. The mirror behind them, is it dirty or is it arty? Like, where is the venue? There is a couple of times where we see the venue. We could probably find photos of the venue. Somebody go through the videos and find where the venue is, and we'll see if those mirrors are dirty or is the mirror coming off the back of the mirror. You know what happens? Because that when I first watched that video, it really annoyed me. But I just thought we'd do that while we're listening to these guys rave about how to avoid the financial pitfalls, whatever they're doing.
20% ownership.
Do you look at the mirror now?
Either or.
It's a
Yeah,
shocker.
it's $1 million net worth, or they've had
It must be arty.
Or, yeah, you don't have to meet both.
Let's
That
find
is
the
an
venue.
either or.
I'll find the venue.
Yeah, it's not a both and.
how do we
Income
avoid?
or net worth. Yeah, we would probably need to add the word or, because that is an either or. You do not have to be both of those.
Let's have a look. I'll find it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we knew there'd be a lot of questions on this one. Any other questions on those?
I got a question and concern. Question being, I mean, 2 years in my house, I don't have a consignment rule of 200. I don't have access to $1 million. I can take that.
Not 100 million.
I'm sorry.
I'm in. 100 million. That would be a very high standard. Yikes. It's like, okay, that's a lot. Okay, but the actual question.
So yeah, I don't have a net worth of $1 million. 2 years consecutive in my house. There wasn't.
Trying to find that picture.
That's a little easier right now. So I know.
We'll meet with you and look at one off. We can get together one-on-one. We'll figure it out.
All right. And concern portion I have on it, I know one huge aspect, at least with the few partners that I have, is that I think with putting this, I understand with the 90-day limit to come up to the $100,000. I get that. But now you're adding this other accredited requirement to it. I have a number of people that I know most likely don't meet that. These are people that put trust in us before Fidelity was
I'm going to find the venue.
They trusted me, they trusted Chris, they
I've got a
trusted what we
plan.
were doing. They were at the Christmas party when we announced this, and now it's just, but sorry, just not you guys. Thank you for the ride. We understand that, you were looking at this as an outlet to get out of your job and pursue another passion, but you can't do that anymore. I just think it's a big slap in the face to the littler people.
Sure. I don't disagree with you at all. We can have, let's sit down and have a longer conversation one-on-one. I don't disagree with you because I think there's some things we can discuss.
We're gonna roll it out with obviously who we know is good to go and our high dollar people. We're gonna segregate out and meet with each individual director for their people, and we'll figure something out. Some people will be removed, some people will figure a solution for. But it's not gonna be March 1st.
No.
1,500 emails get
Correct. We're not just gonna start booting people. And again, this is one of those, it's our, like if this were something we came up with, I would be like, oh man, well, we'll just change it. It's the legality of it. So, and that's, I know.
Yeah, I just, I got my mom, and if she doesn't have $100,000, and I got friends that are trusting me with this, and.
So,
do
circle back with me one-on-one, David. Okay.
Circle back the
there's a
wagon.
couple things we'll talk about. Yes, I will answer. I have an answer for you for sure.
I think it's probably going to be a similar thing for many people.
Yeah.
Like many of our family members are invested and probably aren't considered accredited investors, right? Even if they meet the minimum balance.
Let me do this because there's a lot of similarities. If it's like a family member or something, circle back with us one-on-one because I have thoughts on that. So
A lot of people have that like $500,000 to $700,000 net worth range, where like they just under.
Yeah, just close to it.
Is there anything general you can just, or is it more so that you want us to come talk to you privately, or is there anything you could just disclose because we're kind of all looking, a lot of people just are curious about that. If not, obviously we'll talk about it.
They're not in this setting. I can't say it publicly. Yeah.
Going back, we're gonna segment the list out. We're gonna deal with the people that we are 100% good to go. We'll create a list of people who are not, and we'll deal with that separately.
Yes, for sure. So it's not, nobody's getting a kick-out letter tomorrow or March 1st. Alex, what was your question?
Just a question for the new percentage structure. When does that roll out?
Yeah, so that's what we had talked about the last time we talked, Chris. So I know that I think what most people are doing is 1 to 5, 3%, 5 and up 4. So this is the last conversation we had. So Chris and I will confirm this. I'll confirm this with him. This is the structure that we had set up. It's been a little while. So I'll confirm that and we'll have it rolled out for March 1st. We'll have it confirmed with you. I will.
This is going to be the one?
What's that?
You mean as of March 1st, you're going to confirm whether that is what we're going to do?
Yes. Because I want to verify that Chris is on board with that.
The terms way too drastically in such a short amount of time.
People that are at higher percentages come in at the same percentages, though, to be clear. So people that are higher get grandfathered in. So whatever you have already on the books, because I know like that doesn't change. This is for new business coming in.
I think it's more just talking about the verbiage is like, people know the verbiage just changed to 3%, 4%, and now it's like 2 months later we're changing it again.
Yeah. This is a proposed. We can keep it how we are.
100%. This is the last piece that we discussed. So Chris may say we're going to keep it at the 3 and 4. We're good with that. That's totally fine.
And I mean, not a big deal, but obviously, I have daily meetings with people that are.
Yeah, we're talking 3-4%.
Yeah,
if we were to roll this out, I'd do 90 days right now.
Yeah, I agree. So I just want to 100%. We don't want to roll out too much. I agree. So there are standards. The whole point of that is there are standards. I guess that's the key takeaway.
Very good.
Yeah.
So just every deal we're working on now, we do not need to mention that. We finish the deal.
Yes, as you're doing 3-4, correct. Absolutely. Let's hit qualified so that we can take a break. So qualified funds, that is an umbrella term that applies to 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, pensions, SEPs, simples, Roths, and anything in between. Anything that is considered a qualified plan. We are able to take qualified funds as a result of the insurance that is now in place. Qualified funds are extremely different.
I found the venue.
You onboard money now. So because of that,
It's called the Citrus
there's a
Club.
$250,000 minimum.
Now I'm trying to find their website.
On the qualified funds.
It's a golf course.
However, if they have a non-qualified account, we can combine balances. So if they do have money on the non-qualified, like regular side, yes.
Meaning they have 100,000 non-qualified and they have 150 in other.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Oh, it's 250 total?
Yeah, it's 250 total. 250 total.
You have 2 Roths at 200 and 200.
That's fine.
Even better.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, but yes.
Oh,
It's a total.
we can.
No,
household.
the total with Goliath is 250. The main reason for that, guys, is there is lots of steps that go into qualify. It is a total different bird. We have to employ Madison Trust, and Piers is the master that came up with actually how to do this. But because of that, WealthMD is the one who is handling all qualified funds, because you get into what's called ERISA, and ERISA is essentially the regulations that you have to follow when you touch qualified money. And our 20 years each, that's all we did was deal with ERISA. If you do something incorrect on ERISA, back to the whole ship, it can bring down the whole ship. Now you have an ERISA inquiry and we have a huge problem. So any type of qualified dollars, those are the funds.
Shut up, Matt. I having a bit of fun. I found the venue where they held the event, and now I'm thinking of going through here and trying to find the pictures of the mirrors, which are all dirty, and see whether it's a dirty mirror. Ooh, no. Oh, weddings. Oh, no. So what have I got? So it's called, let's see where we are. We've got these ones. Oh, there they are. There's the mirrors. So it is the mirrors. It's all part of the design. Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies. How you doing? You want an investment? Have I got an investment for you? So let's see if we can find another mirror shot. Is that one? No. This is what you do when you're an awesome investigator, is you sit here and you try and find evidence all day long. So that is the mirror where they stand, and that mirror is designed that way. Still not the best of photos, but a bit of a laugh. So I just thought we'd have a wee break there for Danny. Danny's been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, he's got to bed at 5 o'clock, woke up at 8:30-ish, and trying to act like he isn't bored out of his brain listening to this. But yeah, so we did find the venue. So it's actually, if you did want to know where the venue is, it's the Citrus Club in Orlando, is where they, I can't even say it right, have I?
Orlando.
I did get it right. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so if you want to go through here, now I'm just going to have a look at their website. So I'll check out their photos first. Click OK. And then we're going to look at dine. Let's try the dining. And they've got this really flash chef. I think I've seen him on something. And here they are, people serving the alcohol. Lovely food. Oh, it would have been a lovely outing. No doubt Chris picked up the bill for everybody. Fitness Connect, join, about. Let's have a look at about. There they are, business meetings. Yeah, so there you go. Lots of happy people have been here before. Obviously not work. Let's try work. It must have a conference center. Where's the dirty pictures? Dirty pictures. The dirty mirrors. So there we go. We're just going for a bit of a look around, trying to find the dirty mirrors and why they have them. And back to the commercial, the Citrus Club. Do you know it?
Back to Mike's question, which we have information for you. If someone's onboarding qualified, I'm currently handling those questions. So if you're like, hey, I need to talk to someone, like someone has a 401k, multiple people in the room are already moving qualified dollars in. You don't have to do anything other than say, hey, they have a 401k or an IRA, whatever it is. You have to speak with Matt. Like basically when you find out that someone has qualified dollars, you want to pass that over. And good news, WealthMD handles everything top to bottom for you and splits the override with you. It's very simple. You obviously you have to get paid to do that work. But it just also to give you an idea, it does take about 4 to 6 weeks for this process because you have to go get the money from the financial institution. We have to set up a new LLC.
I'm getting information coming in real time. I think this is Chris's house because I've heard that somebody said he paid $8.5 million for a house. So I think that's where he lives. So if you're looking for your investment money, you just want to go knock on his door, and that's his mansion. Doof, doof, $8.5 million. I wonder if it goes around the corner as well. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? I don't know if there's any more photos. Oh, hold on. We might be able to get a... No, I might have it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the house. Where is it here? I don't know if you can do a photo shot. Let's have a look at all the... how did we get to look for it? Share... Back. Oh, it's there. Oh, look, it has all the prices of the houses. But how do you actually get to flip through the photos? You don't really. Yeah, well, anyway, that's where the house is. So if you want to go visit it, let's go up to photos. There's only one photo. But I'm sure now we know where it is. We could probably find. I'm going to have a look for some more photos. But anyway, we're just investigating where your money's gone.
It's actually a self-directed IRA, LLC. We have to set up a bank account. We have to establish an account with Madison Trust. Like there's like 9 different steps that we have to do. We have one employee, Kristen, that you'll get her contact. Her full-time job is qualified money only. That's all she does, is handle qualified money. So whenever there's a qualified question, it'll route straight to Kristen. Penny?
Do you know, I mean, you might not know this, but do they get penalized for moving money from a qualified fund into?
No.
No, that's why we're doing it this way. So there's no penalty and it
tax.
stays tax-free.
Yeah. Which also means that the growth inside
Correct.
qualified accounts never gets taxed until they take a distribution.
Correct.
I would say on those accounts, so there is no payouts, it's only compound.
Correct. If you take a payout, it would be considered an early pre-59.5 distribution. 10% penalty and taxes is what we would assume. Steve?
And to kind of follow up with that too, is after if we have people that are 60 years of age and do the qualified fund, then they're not going to be hit with those penalties.
They're just pay ordinary income tax.
Non-qualified fund. You could take a monthly distribution.
You could do the
very
same
serious,
distribution as
isn't it?
anything else. Absolutely. Yeah. And also the interest rates apply to all accounts. So if they have 250 non-qualified and 250 qualified, that's 500. So they get the benefit of the higher percentage. Just as you do,
That's the sort
you
of
don't get
money
penalized
laundering,
because
doesn't it?
one's qualified and one's not qualified. So whatever that percentage
I mean,
is,
obviously,
the
I've
total
missed how you
balance,
do business.
they'll get that paid out across
You
the
just
board.
get money from people.
I guess now going forward, speaking of new partners, potential partners, we should be trying to confirm from the beginning that they're qualified investors. Otherwise, there's no point.
Accredited.
Accredited.
Sorry, accredited investors. Otherwise, there's no point of even talking
Yeah,
to them.
terminology,
Accredited,
right?
yes.
Correct.
You should qualify. Yes, qualify that. Yeah, that's key.
My lead list just dropped down to 99%.
I know we talked about a discovery packet of some sort, like with our training material. What's the ETA on that? Is that something that we're looking at? Because this is good stuff that can be a part of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, part of it's going to be
That is a good
online
question.
that you'll have access. Yeah, we actually have training modules that are going live when, I don't know what the date is.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's in the next section.
We're going to cover that. So, but yes, we will have that. Steve?
You just said something that makes me go back to your previous slide with the tiered system. I know that's
All right, we've just found out where your money's going. We're just looking at, theoretically, this is meant to be Chris's house. So let's have a look through here. So this is the inside. It's got inside, outside flow. Look at that. Oh, you can have friends around. So that's where he'll be opening all the champagne. There you go. Look at this. Look at the ceiling, the work that's gone into that. Double kitchen. That would annoy the hell out of you. I'd have to get a cleaner because I'm the cleaner around here. Look at that. Oh, I live in the dream. Bedroom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at the wallpaper. Oh, it's got 3 nozzles on there. It's what you get if you got $8.5 million. Quite a nice house. Is that another shower? Oh, it's a room, glass frontage, so it keeps your wine at the same temperatures. It's pretty cool. Living the dream. Upstairs. Oh, there's 2 floors. Oh, I think that's probably the master bedroom, but I'm guessing that might even be a guest bedroom. It's even got a love seat. Is that what they're called? Love seat? Oh, spare bedroom. Kids' bedroom. It's got toys in that one. Outside, inside barbecue area. This is where you... Yep, got that. Swimming pool and watery thingies that go spill. Wait until you see the golf course that's right next to. So that's where your money's going, guys. Now, how did he get all that money? By trading. 3 years ago, this guy wasn't worth hardly anything. And now he's living in a house like this. Well, is this his house? Oh, look, he's even got a bull run, as you do. Oh, statue. Oh, more statue. That looks a bit weird, just saying. Oh, that's a bit weird. Oh, look at that. This is the estate. Look, everyone's on their slurp boards. And there's the house. There's the aerial shot. And look at that. There's the money shot. What a lovely place to live. Well, that's where your money's going. So hopefully he's going to start opening it up as a Airbnb. And that would be awesome for you.
Kind of still up in the air, but you had mentioned if I have a qualified and a non-qualified each at 250, and that's equal at 500 now. Does that mean with this tiered system, once you hit $1 million, you actually jump up to 4% if I'm sitting at 3?
Yes.
Is that how
that's how it would work.
The potential structure is?
Yes, it all counts together.
Cumulative and aggregate.
Yeah.
Because right now we're currently at a flat 3 or 4%, but we could go to a 2% in the future if we agree on that.
Yes, and then when you hit them up, correct.
Come in at 2, but now I've got.
You would go up at each level. It also gives you another question to ask because a lot of people have money sitting in old IRAs and old 401ks and like. The reason that we figured this out. It's $1 trillion market. Retirement accounts. It's huge.
Yeah. This is amazing. $1 trillion industry where people have been given their superannuation money or their retirement money, and they want to go after that and provide the portfolios for people. And they haven't got these tickets that they're talking about. They just want to get them. And now they're giving people advice on how not to get done for elderly abuse. So if you go into the description of this video that you're watching right now, there is actually a link to the blog. And in the blog, we talk about the section there of the elderly abuse, which we've been online for quite a few hours at the moment. But we want to make sure we get this documentary and online to expose this company. But this one here really does say it all. We've got 37 minutes to go.
I just got that, $2,500.
There you go. Yeah, sweet. Cool. Oh, man. We're real excited to roll that in for you, Steve. Okay, 2,500 big ones. Okay. Sweet. Calculate the money now.
Not going to hit the minimum.
I know you briefly talked about the percentage breakdown, but I just want to make sure everyone hears that about the split between qualified money.
Yes. So on qualified money, yes. Essentially, the way it works is whatever percentage they get paid. The fee over that just gets split between the referring partner or director and WealthMD. That's how it works. WealthMD does all of the work. You're responsible for 0. It's just half and half. You do 0 work. Like literally do nothing on that. Because even the servicing, that's why we have a dedicated person. The servicing's different. Like if someone
dedicated person seems a bit lame for a multi-million-dollar company.
What's qualified? We have to make sure that our service person says, hey, there's potential tax and penalty implications if you do this. So there's like a whole different, beneficiaries have to be set up differently on ERISA-sponsored plans. So it's an entirely different flow on that.
Like, Salesforce though, would that partner be technically managed under BlackBlock and all that, or would it still be under us?
It is managed under, but we will share those files so you can always see it.
Okay, so
Yeah. You'll absolutely be able to see all of it. Absolutely. You're the primary contact still, but we'll service that side of it. Exactly. But you'll be able to see it. Yes, 100%. Steve?
So this is a huge market right here, this qualified fund. Like you said,
Huge.
$1 billion. So I have
Huge.
This is retirement systems, investments, retirement.
FRS. Huge dollars in FRS.
When does this go into effect? Like
Wait.
right now?
Right now, it's available.
Real
right
quick.
Now. Yeah.
Time out.
Right.
Time out. Sit before you, don't get too excited. If someone is currently at a job, they have a 401k, thrift savings plan, something like that, that money we can't touch. If they are currently making contributions into a plan, it is not eligible for rollout in service.
That's right.
There is one.
Get them to retire today.
There's one caveat to that.
Oh,
Some
okay.
plans allow for in-service distributions. There is a caveat. This is why if someone has a
Caveat.
qualified plan, you say, call Matt. I know those questions to ask. And so if there's a way to get the money out, I will get it. FRS is one. FRS does allow in-service distributions. So what that means is they can roll out everything currently, but then their new contributions would still go to FRS, and then you can do another rollout later. But yes, and FRS also has pensions that you can roll out too. So if someone retires, those are big numbers. They go into drop, boom, you can roll out $500,000 in one whack. Yeah, there's a huge market.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, and we'll absolutely we'll have a cheat sheet on qualified plans. You want to do because it's it's extremely important how you word things. So very quickly pass those off if you would. Like other than you find out they've got the minimum, and they've got money they want to move. Okay, pass that and let us answer the specific questions. Which you're more than welcome to be on those calls, Jay, because then you know how to answer those questions moving forward too. Mike and I had a call with one of his partners, and so I know you can hear the questions that I'll ask, and that way you kind of get an idea of, okay, what are some of the general questions to find out?
So we get with the client, they go ahead and give us the information that we need, which is typically a summary plan document from their plan. They have to request it. Those go immediately up to our attorneys in the trust company who handles all the sub-steps of making sure it's done right. They are third-party administrators, so they are approved by the Department of Labor to do this kind of work, and it takes all the liability off of us and puts it over onto that side. That's why we're super cautious about how we handle this and why we set it up this way.
Make sure you like this video.
Are we going to be allowed
Help me get rich on my YouTube channel.
Not necessarily.
So I can get a jet.
Senior citizens, residents, but hold a presentation first.
Yes, in your training, there actually is specific training related to senior citizens because there are certain rules of how you interact. But could you do a seminar? Yeah, you could do a seminar.
We strongly discourage elder seminars.
Yeah, elder
Somewhere we're going
seminars.
back
There's
to Canada.
crazy rules on it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's they're very, very specific. There's like elder abuse laws is kind of what they refer to it as. So you do have to be careful.
Seminar sales.
Yeah.
You can call it.
Any other questions on this before we take a quick break? All right. We'll have more time too for more questions, but the first thing we want to hit in this session, the rollout schedule. Couple different pieces to this. So the first big piece to this is we are going to have updated JV agreements. So the new JV agreements include some updated language that the attorneys have put in. So they've modified a few things here and there. One of the biggest changes that you want to make sure you make people aware of is there will be a 72-hour void clause in it. If they do not fund their contract within 72 hours, the JV agreement voids so that Chris isn't on the hook for some agreement that you guys sent out 8 months ago. They can't send money in. So currently that doesn't exist. So this is why we're going to do new, and we will repaper everyone. BlackBlock will get updated JV agreements every year moving forward on their anniversary. And the reason for that is we want to have a within 12-month statement. Yes, I read. I know what I'm doing. Again, this is all back to we
What
want to
are
have plenty of check
JV
boxes to say
agreements?
everybody who's involved in this knew exactly what they're doing, when they did it, why they did it, and what it's for. That's the big piece on the JV. You want to talk about anything else with that or the DPS?
The other
DPS?
major pieces.
The other
on
big
page.
piece, the
They're
DPS. You guys are
fantastic.
DPS, by the way. That's you, Director of Partner Services.
Congratulations, by the way, if we didn't already
Very-
say it.
My director of engineering was DPS, Daniel P. Steele.
Oh. I
So
felt
this
like
is
a
going to be
direct
haunting
piece of
for you. We're going to do individualized training. I mentioned that before, but one of the other pieces that's part of that is we're going to have a dedicated training site for you for one or for
When
a
did they invite me?
specific set of elements. It's a BlackBlock branded site by one of our partners, WebCE, where you'll have an individual login. We can see it. You'll have 10 days once these go out, so chill out. It's not happening tomorrow. When we track your rollout schedule, right? And we're gonna be like, hey man, 10 days before your rollout, we're gonna send you a link. It's gonna allow you to go into the training site for KYC, AML, elder abuse, ethics. We're gonna put you through, everybody gets to
Elder
do
abuse.
it.
Oh my God, they're gonna
regardless
provide
of
training
post or
on it.
position. Literally everyone's gonna do it.
Clean the mirror.
Everyone in our company does it, right down to the janitor. Straight up because of the work that we do, we want to make sure that everyone is certified and says, hey, I've been trained, I've got the certificate.
I've been trained, I know
what
how
I'm
to
doing."
scam the
It clears
elderly.
us, it clears you if anything ever comes up. So that will be coming out 10 days prior to your rollout for your individual books. Buckle up, Nick. Because I'm pretty sure we're day 10 before that happens, so surprise. Again,
Surprise.
when we run clients through this system as part of the new JV contracts that are going out to them, they're going to do the KYC, AML, OFAC. So you understand what these are. KYC, know your customer. It's a biometric scan, driver's license picture, proves that they are who they say they are. Anti-money laundering is just going through and making sure that they don't have any histories or any active investigations on them for laundering money.
Ooh.
You'll be trained on what that means, so you'll be able to detect money laundering red flags. As a byproduct of taking the AML training, you're going to come out the other side being very adept at knowing how to launder money.
Did he just say
It's
that?
like the old school videos, don't do drugs, and you're like, I never thought I could smoke weed out of an apple. Think I'll try it. But that's how that works.
Very adept.
What, because I'm the only one? He's like, that's a good idea. OFAC, Office of Foreign Affairs and Control, that is the terrorist checklist. That is making sure that anybody that you're talking to that you wouldn't think was a terrorist.
Everything they're saying is a red
I'm sorry,
flag,
I know
eh?
your
It's just
entire book of
unreal.
business
Oh,
is
look, I'm
screwed.
sorry, I haven't
We
had
can't
the chat
avoid
box.
it. All terrorists.
Going. So we'll go through and read those.
Yeah, to be clear.
Fact.
And that's a good distinction.
To be clear, we want to make sure we nail that.
That's a good
point.
distinction.
That's a good distinction. Very
Yeah.
critical.
There's a checkbox for that. The other one's politically exposed person. If they're somebody that's related to or are a politically exposed person, it's going to pop up a yellow flag. It doesn't mean that we can't work with them. It just means that we have knowledge of that they could have political influence, so on and so forth. And so we have to be thoughtful of that.
Really?
The real dead knockouts are if someone gets a pop on the OFAC,
A pop on the
flag that
OFAC.
says they are related to or are a terrorist or on some sort of do not fly list, it's a solid kill. We have no choice. No, hey, let's go talk over here and I'll figure out a way to help you out. No.
Yeah, there's no way on that.
Some of their
No
clients must
workaround.
be that way inclined.
If they're Osama bin Laden's cousin, it's probably a red flag. Just
Probably.
FYI. Probably
you don't
not going
need
to be
to
able to
ask
work with them.
first. We will see it come through on the check. Pete, politically exposed, yellow flag. It just means heightened supervision.
Yeah.
One thing I want to point out, if we were to get an AML flag, right? This person appears to be laundering money, something like that. We have to internally launch an investigation. I want everyone to hear me say this. This is how, everything else you can ignore except for this. Don't. If we launch an investigation, we will talk to you and we will say, hey, we have to investigate this person for money laundering. You may not tell the client that they are under investigation. If you do, you are now an accessory to money laundering and will be prosecuted as an accessory to money laundering, which includes fines and jail time.
No bueno.
Yep.
And there's nobody that can save you on that, unfortunately. There's no insurance to cover that. That's just
Sorry.
like, hey, you aided and abetted. Sorry.
Let's hope that never happens. But if it did, that's why I want to just underscore this. That's going to be in your training over here.
Yes.
So you can say, oh, I remember he said that. Don't go telling the guy that he's being investigated.
You did say that if that were to come up where you start that investigation, you would reach out to us and take
Yes.
it. So we're doing this.
Yep, absolutely, because we need questions answered from you. How do you know this person? What do you know about them? Let's talk about suspicious activities, what have you. That we then take and hand that over to the authorities if we think there's something there. It doesn't mean they're going to kick his door in, but if they feel there's something worth investigating, they'll take it from there. We can never tip a client off to that.
Next slide.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was pretty
perfect.
solid. I got sugar.
Yeah, well, they'll be aware because it asks questions in the new link, which the link, how are we sending that out, Aaron, the KYC Goliath link?
It'll be out via email from BlackBlock.
So BlackBlock will send that out. That will go out today, tomorrow. What is the rollout for that?
For each of them to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that will come, by the end of the week, they'll have it.
You'll have it yourself, so you'll do it first, and that way you know. So it is a really nice, we actually have it custom branded for Goliath, and it'll walk you through all the questions. Yeah, man.
Is that something that's going to go out like directly with the contract then, so they can just fill out the contract and fill that out, so you have all that info?
Correct. Once they fill out the one piece, it actually populates to the database, and then populates, which we'll hit that too, but that's a great question. It will populate everything over.
Wait for a response before having people send money, so we don't deal with that, or is that maybe not something?
Yes, we have to wait until, like, Nadia can't accept money until she has an in good order that, hey, everything's passed, which BlackBlock clears the person and says, yep, green light, you're good to put money in.
Amazing. Okay.
Awesome. And we get notified at that point?
Yes, you'll know. Yeah, but and you'll get notified if there's an issue, because if there's an issue and we have money, then you have 72 hours to fix that issue. Otherwise, we have to send that money back. We can't hold money for longer than 72 hours. What was your question, Mike?
I think they're making up this bullshit as they go, aren't they?
Stephanie and say, hey, send out this agreement. Is it still going to be that process, or is it going to be different now because it's all in one link?
It'll be different now.
So are each exec's going to have access within their Salesforce to send those out, or how are you going to do that? Yeah, we're going to do it on their behalf. BlackBlock will handle all those. BlackBlock.
It just will look like it's coming from you.
Did you give a start date on that?
Yeah, when's this?
See, I'm doing my emails in the background, and I just get an email from somebody telling me, I think I've been scammed. I've lost $5,000 Australian. That's what really guts me, is I get these emails of people at the bottom of the cliff all the time. And this is a scam that's been going for, it's been rebranded 5 times. And they just rebrand themselves. But yeah, no, that's what I get all the time. Just another email, another $5,000 lost. Person trying to get their money back. Now they'll probably get scammed again with these crypto recovery companies.
Aaron, what is the rollout on that? The new JVs. So those are coming in Monday. Soon as the new JVs are in, we will let you guys know, because as soon as the new JVs are in, we'll be able to upload them and get everything rolling. So operate as normal for right now, but within the next week and a half, like 10 days most, that will be changing. But we'll give you, like I say, there'll be communication coming out.
See session 3.
Yes.
We'll cover a little bit more about it.
Session 3 is not as fun as this session, Aaron. This is a blast. Okay. Any other questions on that? Cool. Nope. You.
Did you say what the PPP was?
Politically exposed person.
Yeah.
There
Member
will
of
be
a
a
royal
quiz.
family, something like that, where there's just certain protocol that we have to take. You can't use normal communication is essentially what it comes out to.
Nephew of the supreme leader of the Taliban. Not that anyone knows anyone.
I don't, yeah. His money's good.
I mean, his check's clear, I'll tell you that.
But
and he's got cash. Gold bars, cool.
As we go, go ahead, sir.
These guys are idiots. They're clowns, aren't they? They really are clowns.
We
are starting
That guy
to
should
get
stop
into, I
swallowing
get
his
this question often, so I wanna bring it up.
snot because you can hear it in the microphone.
Oversight
Just
on
saying.
it. We're starting to deal with a lot of pro athletes. A lot of these pro athletes are cash heavy and they want to come in. How do we handle that scenario? They do a big signing agreement, they get paid $250,000, they want to give that to us. How do we handle that situation?
Physical cash?
Yeah.
Physical cash. They need to put that in a bank. We cannot accept physical cash. That is a massive money laundering red flag.
Obviously, his customers come in with piles of the money.
There's
That's
what
Dubai
Nadia
can see that.
said, no
Same
exceptions.
thing, that it does make
my God.
it looks very sketchy.
Cash.
How'd they get the cash?
It could be. Not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. But I know like they own watches and diamonds and gold, so they could sell something and get cash. Like I know how they could do it, and it's probably legitimate.
You get paid by check,
but
don't
the
you
problem
normally?
is we can't verify it. And we have to be able to know, like we have to be able to attest, yeah, we know where the money came from. That's the issue with cash, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
So that's based on a lot of
Stop sniffing, mate. It sounds
pro
terrible.
athletes. And to your point, they do signings, they sell a watch, they do an appearance, they do this, they get handed back cash. They want to give it to us.
Put it in your bank. Put it in the bank and hand it to us.
Chances are they already have money in the bank.
Yeah.
The Bengals didn't give me my money in cash.
Because if they have it in cash and they're not putting it in the bank, the only reason it would be
That is so.
Well, yeah, for sure.
We know plenty of people who have vaults filled with cash.
Oh, like we have business owners in Polk County that have 7 figures in cash because they're contractors and they take cash. Like I get it, I get why they do it, but do business in cash. That's what I always tell them. Just do business in cash, but we have to take the bank money.
Yeah, you got to make it legit, at least for a day. We're doing weekly progress, so as we roll this out and your specific schedule starts to hit and your rollout is starting to happen, you will get weekly progress updates from us, which will just say, hey, you've got, of your 50 clients, 35 are done, 10 have never opened an email, and this many are kind of stuck in the process. We want to communicate that with you so that you can communicate back to them. We are not going to sit there and, bark on them, hey, do this. That's not our job. Our job is to communicate that to you, let you know so that you can call the people who are, offline or whatever.
Offline people?
I understand things will happen. People are out of the country, but nonetheless, this stuff should be pretty quick to get through for them. But we will keep you up to date on where they are.
Make sure that nothing's been hacked. Like, as Chris just mentioned, we're dealing with lots and lots and lots of money. We have to make sure that there's a protocol in place to ensure, hey, we're actually caring for that money. So they will call you guys. So that's step 3. They will call you and verify. You'll know what the last 3 digits are, or 4 digits, and you'll verify. You'll say, yep, the last 3. That's also the way you know they actually read the agreement, because when they go to read it, they're like, oh, wait a sec, I don't have this. So they'll call you, you'll verify that. If you are unavailable, BlackBlock has as a backup through a WealthMD line, we will verify that for you. So that's not a, hey, have every partner call us. That's a, Puneet's out of town and they need to give money. Well, we have to take that money. BlackBlock will be the one that will verify that information for you.
Right.
After the verification call is completed, then you guys go in and add verification notes into Salesforce. What does that look like? One of the big things, we keep talking about notes. What will protect you if there's ever a legal incident is documentation.
Documentation.
So Puneet will go in and
like
he'll
a company
basically
that shuts
do a
down
quick,
and
it's literally
starts up
on
in the
Salesforce,
state of
you'll click
Wyoming.
phone call,
With lots of documentary.
verified account information.
Problems
with
there.
That's the whole note. I talk, like
I mean,
if you have
this
a
is
phone call
really,
with a client
like,
with a partner.
Isn't this stupid? So these guys are telling you that's what is really going to protect you is documentation. And I've emailed them and asked them for proof that they're actually got income streams, and nothing. I get crickets. And then I get an email basically telling me I'm going to get a full reply in writing at the end of the day. So the end of the day happens, and that turns into, oh, we decided that we want to get on a Zoom meeting and talk to you. I mean, for God's sake. So this guy that's talking right here, I've been emailing him this morning, and that's what he said. So if you have just tuned in, we'll have a look at that in a second if I can find it. Whereabouts do I find him? Sent emails. Sent emails? No, received emails. I've got to think about this. Brain hurts at the moment. Let's see. So I've got so here's Matt's reply to me today. So I wrote him a message, and in the message here, I asked him to answer these 4 questions, right? And
Before we publish, I want to give you the opportunity
published.
for a right of reply. Specifically, 1. Why do you believe Goliath Ventures is not a Ponzi scheme, given there is no proof of real investments, verifiable contracts, or on-chain activity? 2. How can BlackBlock claim to be independent when the same individuals are also selling joint venture agreements and taking commissions? 3. How do you address the conflicts of interest created by BlackBlock, Wealth MD, and Goliath operating in the same orbit? 4. Why does the investor material rely so heavily on branding, lifestyle imagery, and insurance theater rather than audited financial proof?
Yeah, so I sent that to him, and it was sent to Mr. And he's come back with a signature, Matt Burks, head of compliance, Goliath Ventures Incorporated. But if you look up the top here, his email address is redemptionlakeland.com, which is his pastor email address. So he's emailing me as from his church email address. And this was the reply we got earlier on.
Mr. D. Heck, I have worked with our team on a response to all of your questions and will provide written responses to your questions. First, I would like to do a Zoom or other online call with you anytime later this evening or over the weekend. I'd like the opportunity to provide you with what I would consider extremely relevant information before you proceed with this piece, as I believe you have been significantly misled with some of the information you were provided. Look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, so they want to get together on a Zoom meeting with me and talk to me. It will probably be, if you take down all your videos, we won't sue you, because they always go after people that ask questions, because you're not allowed to ask questions. Or they'll say, "Oh, maybe we can give you some money," or "Would you like some shares in our company?" And I would say, "No, no, no. It's just ridiculous." Anyway, so that was the email we had earlier on from this guy that's on the screen right now.
Spoke to them about their distribution. They want to stay on roll up or whatever. So it's a way that when you have interactions with your partners, you can go back, because you guys know this. You can't remember what you talked about last year to someone. I mean, you have 200 people. You have no idea what you talked about. This allows you to pull back up and go, oh, yes, I did go over this with you. I remember this. Also, I've used it over the years where just to make notes to myself. They have 3 kids. They have 2, like things that I want to remember about that specific person. I'll just make a quick note. That way, when I pull it up, it seems like I know them, right? Like they think, okay, Matt does actually care who I am as a person. Because it's very difficult to remember. You get over 10 people, it's like my brain is scrambled egg, so I can't remember that.
It's got scrambled egg brain.
That's a way
problem.
that you can use it not only to help on the sales side, but also if there's ever an issue, those documents will save your behind. And then the last piece is financial department action, which that is Nadia. Nadia will log into Salesforce, verify that she sees an in good order, check. She's got money, she sends it on, you guys are all good. If it's a wallet transfer, that goes through Chris, but same thing, in good order. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Once she clears it and receives the money, it will send a push back to you.
And is it our job to send that out, or will they get it automatically?
No. Are you talking about you or the partner? The director. You'll get it back. Yes, you'll get a notification.
We'll get a notification, but we don't have to send communication saying, hey, wire's been received. They'll just get it automatic once Nadia confirms.
That's right. Exactly.
Ultimately, in the Salesforce system, there's a total workflow for that. And once that final task is completed, it'll pop up in your dashboard, and it could trigger an email, but it'll pop up on a dashboard that's just like, this sale is won.
But it can also send a partner email.
Funded.
So if you want it, it'll send a verification email. That can be part of the workflow.
Yeah.
Is this integrated to the current dashboard we have, or it's going to be through Salesforce?
Through Salesforce, new system. So it's great, and I will say the biggest thing, we're not married to one developer, and also if there's ever an issue, it's Salesforce's problem, not Goliath's.
That's a
we want to
big
transfer liability.
And
if Salesforce gets hacked, not Goliath's problem. That's totally on Salesforce. So it builds in another layer of protection for you guys and for Goliath.
Sheer amount of non-public personal information that exists in the database requires a high level of
I thought Chris was in the meeting originally. He must have gone off on his Lamborghini for a drive around the neighborhood. Exactly.
That's what was very, very expensive, by the way.
Oh,
yes.
was it? Very expensive.
Yeah.
Very
Turns out
expensive.
it's a lot of freaking money.
What we want
as
is
it
not
were.
what they do.
It will, yes. It will. Yeah, it'll say power.
That could be credibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's like part of it.
Yeah, they're a Fortune, 200 company?
They're pretty big.
They're pretty, I mean, they're big.
They're kind of a big deal.
They're decent. They're almost as big as Goliath.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're decent, little company. Any questions on the wire process or how that works? Good, okay.
The wire's still going to go, it's going to be the same bank account?
If you're using Goliath, yes. Are you you're giving them Goliath's wire account now? Their Chase?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, same account. Okay. Yeah, same info.
We're in the Wild West, right? We all know that. And so
We're
this
still
is
in
dynamic.
the Wild West, absolutely.
Right now, we have a good domestic thing. Clearly, we need to clean up Canada. That's okay.
Yeah.
We will.
We need to make them the 51st state. Yeah, there we
Ha!
That'll fix everything.
Then we'll be good.
And then it'll be a domestic.
Well, no, Greenland's going to be 51. Canada can be 52. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Greenland's 51. All right.
Where were we?
Multi-phase rollout
Yeah.
strategy.
So we're going to focus on the sales side first, getting contracts, getting you guys, getting money in the door to fund contracts for the people that you have in process. As far as what we're doing with Salesforce goes, right? Then we start to, the advanced features start to come in the next month that we've discussed, and within the next 2 months? Ish. Now, within the next 2 months, we want that fully functional partner portal so that they can just go in, see everything, look at their own statements. Basically, let's eliminate
So at the moment, it's
them
all Excel
bothering you
sheets,
for
I
things
assume.
that they can just go in and find on their own.
Is
See
that what
their
we're hearing?
transaction histories, know what's going on.
And to keep it simple, are we just going to start fresh once you guys roll out the full partner portal instead of trying to, transfer information over? Because some of it can get very messy.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning.
Yeah.
We'll migrate the required data, but when we push everyone through the KYC checks, it's going to grab all of their fresh, up-to-date information, so we have a totally clean database right out of the start.
Yeah.
So we don't have to bother you to, hey, this field's not right, or this says OH instead of Ontario, or, Yeah, it'll clean all of that up.
Oh, well, that's
One of
good.
the other things from a functionality standpoint that I've heard is important is from the top down, all the way down to the director level, you'll be able to run in, look at all of your partner accounts as a group, be able to run reports off of that, who's funded this, you can get really advanced reporting inside of there, so you have a better stand on what your book of business looks like. When was the last time somebody onboarded money, whatever. Just, you'll get granular reporting that you don't need a programmer to do for you.
Yeah. It's going to be very helpful from that standpoint.
Especially for training.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ongoing support. So we understand you're not going to be able to know everything from day one. We don't expect you to. It's a big program. We have done, our team with Nicole and Aaron have done a really good job building this thing out to kind of make it customized for what we need. Because Salesforce, if you were to just go into it, it's like this giant, huge mammoth of a program, and we don't need all that. So that's part of what we've been doing is really getting it dialed into what we actually do need. But with that in mind, there's going to be ongoing training. There will be ongoing assistance. So this is back to your fees that you're paying. You can actually, our BlackBlock team is available for you. Aaron and Nicole are available. If you have questions, Kaylee will probably be doing that as well. So we have another gal, Kaylee, that will be doing anything related to Salesforce. So if you're like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to do X, Y, Z, If we don't have the answer, we'll get you the answer. So use our team to help you figure this out. It's not a situation where we're just going to be like, hey, adhere to all these standards and figure it out. We're actually going to be there for you. That's part of why Goliath pays BlackBlock, is to do that for you. So we want to make sure that you're able to use the system and have all the tools you need. As far as like ongoing features, there are multiple phased rollouts, as we've mentioned. So not everything will be day one. For instance, the partner portal will not be day one. That's likely going to be end of March, early April-ish. Sometime in April is likely the time. Is that give or take? Okay. I'm getting a circle nod. I'm not sure.
Super hopeful.
So we're hoping, but
sales first, remember.
Sales first. We're rolling out
Oh
the
my God, did he
important
just say
critical
that?
pieces first, which is the
the
KYC
money in.
integration, the JV doc integration, the wire instruction. So there's those, the in good order, not in good order. The critical pieces to how we do business are being done. Also, we have to have the ability to communicate with all your partners. That has to be integrated day one. So those are the things we're hitting first. Then we'll continue a phased rollout where new features will be added. You will get communication from us on average about once a week. Hey guys, here's what the new thing is. We're rolling this out. It's going to be coming at the end of this month. New Salesforce update. We're having a training on this day at this time, a Zoom. You can log in, take a look, or give us a call one-on-one. We can work through it with you. So we're going to continue stay in communication with you guys so you know what's coming. You'll have to read your emails, to know that. But we will communicate with you guys so we're not just leaving you out there to figure it out on your own.
And immediately, we're going to start plugging into your normal sales calls.
I can't stand listening to
You
this
know,
guy.
you guys have as a group.
He's just shocker.
Weekly, right?
He just sounds like a total
Ish.
greaseball, doesn't he?
Mostly. So that we can use that opportunity to also bring you guys up
Stop
to speed on what
swallowing
the
your
updates
snot.
are, where we're looking,
Ugh.
share stories, solicit feedback, and try to make everything as smooth as possible.
Yeah, let me caveat that. So they're employed through your LLC, they're paid through your LLC, that's your deal with that.
Exactly.
Caveat though, too, they are required, this goes into the
This is where
protection
Christopher comes
and
on
also
stage.
the consequences. They're required to meet with Eric, our attorney, and sign an NDA and confidentiality agreement because you are giving them access to
This is the
client
big man.
data. And so if they are not signed by that, that is another strike that'll go against you. So anyone who,
earning commissions needs to also go through
correct,
the whole process.
correct.
Background checked and everything.
And if they're not at fault. If they do anything, we will come after you for not following protocol. Got it? So anyone who has access to any client data needs to be under an NDA and a confidentiality agreement starting March 1st.
Got that, kids?
What about somebody you give commission to, but they don't have any access to any client data, just for referral?
Just still NDA them.
Yeah.
Just it. They're privy to conversation. They're privy to intellectual
Make it exclusive boys club.
conversation, operations working, whatever. Listen, they're earning a paycheck.
Technically, they shouldn't have given the referral to not investors. That's what I heard from Chris just say. It shouldn't happen.
It's clear that you guys listen to 90% of what I say and play in the 10% gray, which I've come to deal with. I'm asking you to have them sign NDAs and confidentiality agreements to protect you. If they are signed,
Every
they are
company
in
does
breach,
that you
which means
invest with.
the company will go after them.
That's what the bank does
If
when
you
you go there and do
fail
an
that,
investment, isn't it?
I will spend every dollar I have, like I've said before, I will spend every dollar I have to protect my company, and I will come after you in every way possible. So just follow that small step and do yourself and save yourself a headache.
Now, that is somebody who you wouldn't want to argue with, and they use intimidation techniques so you can't ask questions. He's telling you how it is. He's forcing you to get your clients to sign NDAs. Why would you do that? And what he's about to do is walk off the stage and he skites about how much money he alleged he has. Where did this money come from? 3 years ago, this guy didn't have the money he claims he's got now. We reckon he's getting bankrolled by people in Dubai. We don't know, but we've got no proof of that. But something's going on here, and this is not over. And we've got a the next blog we do should expose every individual in the company. And it will be a humdinger, and we've been holding back the wins. And that's why we've gotten, this is part 3. We're going to do a part 4. But yeah, let's have a listen.
Got it?
Critical.
Listen to this.
Yeah, and from our end, they have to be background checked. That is a key.
I have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just threatened them with
They
to
they
his
do
own
need
people.
to be background checked too. Like that is a key. So it's not like what you're doing. It's just it's in the way that we're wording things. They're a 1099 independent contractor for your company that's getting paid a fee or commission, whatever you want to call it. We're okay with that, but you just have to do it the right way. Yes.
In this meeting, are we going to discuss that breakdown? Like I mentioned to you about commissions and having some type of standardization around, the guys that are selling it.
Of what you pay. So the reality is, if you want to employ someone in your company and pay them, we don't care. That's between you and your employee. I don't care what you pay them. What Chris and I care about is that they're NDA'd, they've signed the confidentiality assignment agreement, and that they have been background checked properly. That's what I care about. If you want to give all your money away to someone, I don't care. That makes no difference to us as long as you've gone through the correct processes. And 1099 is, they don't have to be W-2. 1099 is totally okay. But the percentage that you pay them, Mike, we actually don't care. You want to give them 25 bips, 0.25%.
Humdinger.
75 bips. You want to give them 1%. That's okay. And those are just gentleman agreements, guys. You're running businesses, like you're business owners. You're not slinging, car insurance. You're not slinging, window detailing. Like you're business owners, and you need to run a business.
Oh.
I know the max. I personally would like if we're going to employ a salesperson, like I don't think you should give away the house, but I do think if there's a specific schedule, it would have to come from Goliath. I have no problem with that, but that would 100% be a Chris decision. And it might be something we need to circle back to and have an offline conversation. And this is where it will have to go to
Offline
an actual
conversations.
director. So if you have people, to Chris's point, if someone is onboarded as a partner, they have to have an actual director over them. So no, they don't have partners unless they've gone through the entire process and have an MSA with Chris and Goliath. That's the only way.
Matt, I also think as we update our website, we're going to have our directors listed.
Yes.
With a picture, with
Yes.
contact information. So when people look at our website, it's going to be like, okay, this is credible.
These are the people that I'm going to.
Here, I know Mike's here. I know Stan and Dave, and so on and so on. They're going to see.
And I think to Mike's point, part of this is just internal,
Bullshit.
ethics with each other. Hey, if someone's trying to get a deal, but I think I hear what you're saying, Mike. This is more like partners that are in the fund referring other people.
Cringeworthy. It is. I know.
That is
That's
the
exactly
MO.
what I'm doing. I'm listening to this. Saying,
So what I would say to that is, if you want to work for my company as a salesperson, you can do that. But there's an official way you have to do that. Correct. You have to be background checked. Correct. You have to go through all these processes, and now you work for Mike Hernandez Enterprises, and now you're an employee.
Sweet if that's where it's happening. Hey, who are you a director? Who's your director?
Correct. Find out, because you have to have someone. Absolutely. That is ultimately to Chris, but you can 100% say you're not a director. You can just, it's real simple. When did you sign your MSA agreement with Goliath?
Yeah, as soon as this rolls out, everything stops.
All the side conversations change.
Yeah, it's just, you can't.
And I think that's it. Thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So there you go, guys. I'm glad you stayed here all the way through here. I'm not going to be here too much long. But in summary, basically what BlackBlock is doing is they are now telling people there's a minimum investment of $250,000. And they are saying to people who invest that they will give them 2% return on their money per month. Could be wrong with the figures, but they're actually basically white labeling the investment opportunity that Global Ventures is offering, and then skimming money off the top. And obviously they're telling everyone in that room that they're all directors, and they need to set up their own companies to emit the liability behind it, what they're doing. So it's explained better in the blog. Go have a read. Thanks for being here. And we're just going to have a quick look at some other TikToks. And right, they've got themselves set up on TikTok with no one. Just have a quick look at that. So that's exciting. So that's their TikTok account. Whether it's theirs or not, I don't know. But there is a we have got access to Chris's Instagram accounts with a few of our Avengers, which is quite a hard case, and we can see what he's been up to. So I don't know, but it's just all smoke and mirrors. I think there is another video actually I do want to play. I'll have to turn the music off, but I'll see if I can find that. It's only a minute and a half long. But the one thing when I watch this video, I think, why do these people need to produce a video where they show off all the money they've got? I mean, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Do you know what I'm getting at? So let's just have a look here, and I'll see if I can put this video online. I will turn the sound off, unfortunately, because it's got, see if I can get that in the right spot. And we have, and I'll go back. So you tell me in the chat room, why do these guys need to show off their wealth? So this way, what has this got to do with anything? So this is Goliath Ventures. That's his Rolls Royce. He hasn't got the gold wing doors on it, so I don't know why. I've used that photo. Spinning the wheels around. He's the man. It looks like his suit jacket's a little bit too small for him, and I think he might have just ripped his trousers when he sat down. So I don't know. These are all the people flying around. $180,000 they spent doing a trip to Mykonos. And it's just, success oozing out. This guy here is interesting because the guy that you see in that, it was actually meant to be the guy that's running this, this event this week, that Tony Roberts is at. So if I go back to my blog here, which makes this interesting. So this Global Ventures, the Vault Conference. So as far as I'm concerned, the guy that was in that photo there is meant to be the one that's put on this vault. And then, as I said earlier on, is they are the sponsor. Now, to sponsor an event like this, I'm not sure. Somebody said $100,000 it would be to be the title sponsor. So then when we go back to the video here, you can sort of see how they must be linked together somehow. So that's definitely the same guy, isn't it? Yeah, but I'd be hugging him as well if I saw what he did. So he's out there doing the games. He talks about how he's also going to be promoting himself to sports players and get their money so he can do investments for them. You know, if you research this guy, he's nobody. He's got a 24-year-old replacement wife. He's got 3 children. And now he's also meant to be moving to his new mansion that we just showed you pictures of earlier on. And there he is driving away. Here he is driving away with your money. How do you feel about that? It's not good. That's what it's all about. But I thought I had to show you that one. I'm Danny the Heck, though. Thanks for being here. Thanks to the people in the chat room that hang around for the whole 3.5 hours. I do long form content. I will probably break this video up and put the first part of the video out as a new video. So for people who just want to read the blog and don't really want to sit here and listen to the evidence. But as we found out through while I was doing this last 3.5 hours, we found out that they had closed down a company in Florida, and they reopened up in the state of Wyoming. Now, if you've been a crypto Ponzi scheme avenger like me for a long time, any company that's set up in the state of Wyoming just rings so many red flags. I even have a red flag over there on the wall, which I won't do. I'm going to go because I was up to 5:30 in the morning. I think I got to sleep, and I've only had 3 hours sleep, and I've actually got a smashing headache. That's why I'm trying to keep my head cool. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get these videos out, so that we can educate. We have got video number 4 coming out, which will be a real humdinger. And as I said, it will be the one that doesn't nail the coffin shut. It screws the lid down tight, and we really will expose these people. We've obviously asked for an email from Matt. He reckons he's going to address. We will put an amendment on one of the blogs, or we'll put it at the bottom of our next blog. But we're going to town with this guy. We're sick and tired of seeing these suit and tie, slick presentation, fast talking salesmen who can't prove that they are actually delivering. They can't prove how they're making the money. They can't show us anything. They haven't showed anything about how the companies generate money other than getting money in from investors. So that's disgusting. What are you, Susie? I'll never get it out of here. What is that one there? Another project. So Susie's really good at digging through stuff. You could have put www in front of it, and I would have been able to click on it. Let's have a look and see what Susie's brought up. Raising projects. Oh, even the logos look the same. What are we looking at here, Susie? We're going to go back to the screen. Raising alphas. Raising generation alpha. Oh, yes. We've seen this, yeah. So this guy is one of the guys that, boy, there's me, another one. So if you did go to Global Ventures, and you click on their About Us Go team, you'll see that guy is actually in here somewhere. There he is. Is it David Patrick? Is that the guy? So I've seen a couple of photos of him. Partner relations. That's meant to be quite a successful. Is that him? Peaceful warrior. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, but yeah, I've seen his face before. So yeah, so he's got himself a shop. And here he is. I think, oh, there he is there. He must be a good old friend. So there's lots of intel, but we've got a lot coming out in the not too distant future. Maybe we should get him on an interview, and he can he can come and talk to us. So there are podcasters, YouTubers, Raising Alphas Project. So from my memory, I think this was actually a charity. And that's what they're doing. Alpha cigars, Alpha gear. Yeah, don't really know. Don't get me distracted. I've had enough for today. That was my exposé on Christopher Diego, whatever his name is. Diego. Let's just call him Christopher. Lord Christopher, who's got all your money. Don't let him have your money, guys. Hey, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. As I say, I'm Danny DeHeck, investigative journalist. Been featured in the New York Times and Bloomberg for my quest to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. We'll see you in the next video. You have a great evening. Go get some sleep. I'm going to go have a rest, and I'm going to feed myself and take my dog for a walk. See you in the next video.